Are you listening? Damn.
Welcome everybody to the AFC North Talk presented by True Classic. True Classic, upgrade your shirt game with True Classic. And I know there's a lot of things, but I'm going to start with this. If your team won, make sure you hit that like button to represent your team. If your team is just a quick little like, we have some super chats. I know everybody's pumped. It's been a while since all four teams won because last week the Ravens broke that when they should have won as well. But it's okay. It's okay. We're going to be talking about it here. Q's preparing himself. We're going to go with Q soon. We have a couple super chats here real quick. The Bengal board says, want to say that you guys do an outstanding job representing your team and the North as a whole. Always an enjoyable and informative watch and a weekly feature podcast in our game day threads. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate that.
Anime here says, Watson is so rusty. If he was a car, the actual mechanic will come out to talk to you instead of the shop. The fix isn't impossible but hurts.
Hey man, even if he's rusty, he's still better than Tom Brady.
Ooh, I like this one.
No. Burrow versus Mahomes 3-0. Brady versus Mahomes 3-3. Tell Brady he can retire now, Nova. His replacement has been found. Damn!
Wow.
Nova. Bengals are guaranteed to win the division, right, Ace?
Joe Power always coming through. Here we go.
Dog, why do we live in a flat circle? Why is time a flat circle? Why is this like? Do we realize this is the exact same thing from last year, y'all? This is the exact same. We are in a repeat. Does anybody not realize the loop we are in? Oh, the Bengals are surging. They just beat the Chiefs. The Lamar gets hurt. Okay, and they're 8, and the Ravens are 8-4. And then
there's one other part.
And both the Browns and the Steelers both look like they could go in one or two directions, and one of these teams is going to win 9 games and sneak into the playoffs.
One of them? Well, one of them.
I don't know. Big Ben ain't there.
One of them. Yeah, we upgraded. 8 is greater than 7. That's just math.
Oh, okay. By that math, Baker Mayfield better side with the Browns then, right?
Hey, you might need him this week. This is the week to get him. This is the week to bring him back.
Right.
That's why he asked for the release.
That's why he wants one more ride.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, Watson, I know you just came out of the suspension. But can we let 6 play for a little bit?
We're gonna need Baker one last ride.
I know we go back and forth about Burrow being top 5, top 3, whatever. But at this point, do we really say Joe Burrow is the top QB in the NFL?
All right, man. Yeah, I mean, like if you want to say it, you could say it. Like it's gonna get pushed back. But
look, the longer this goes on,
after he wins a Super Bowl, I feel like it has to be a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, with best young quarterback, not named Patrick Mahomes, I think we can go there. I think you could go there, and that's not unreasonable. There's so many places you could go with Joe Burrow that is not unreasonable. That is very excellent. I don't know if he's like the best quarterback in the NFL yet, but that just takes accolades and like the stuff that you just can't get by playing well, simply playing well. You know what I mean?
It is interesting though, because like all of us are sitting here thinking like he's not better than Mahomes, but the problem is he's now beaten Mahomes 3 times in a row. And I know that like quarterback versus quarterback is not a thing because they don't play each other, but like they're not on the, you know what I mean? Like,
well, there's an eye test thing too that's gonna have any quarterback that's paired up with Mahomes. It's gonna make them look bad. Like, because if you try to say somebody's better than Mahomes and you watch Mahomes play, and you're like, well, Mahomes is more talented than almost anybody else who plays quarterback. That's gonna always factor into the conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like when Tim Duncan was out there, nobody ever was like Tim Duncan's the best basketball player in the NBA just because his style didn't really put himself in a place to be that. Same thing with Tom Brady, where Tom was, until he became the greatest of all time, there was always a debate on whether he was the best quarterback in the NFL.
Who would you say is
like
more accurate? Who would you say is more accurate as a thrower? I know Mahomes has a better arm, but who would you say is more accurate?
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes gets
It depends on the situation, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say overall, Burrow's probably more accurate.
If we're talking about like straight drop from the pocket, Burrow. If we're talking about on the run, like intermediate to first 10, Burrow. If we're talking about on the run, like one of those like seam throws from like across the hash and all, like that's where it's like Mahomes. So it's like it's hard to say because they just have they're two different quarterbacks at the end of the day.
Mahomes takes a lot more chances.
I think Burrow is a way better processor as well. That's the only thing with Mahomes is he's not as quick to process like defenses what they're playing and go into it, but he does have the arm to get it to it. So even if he sees it late, he still has the arm strength to get it down.
He does Mahomes does a really good job of extending the play to let him, to give himself extra time to process, to find the bigger play. I will give Burrow a lot of credit though, because really I thought in the last 2 weeks that I've watched him, he's been so good at navigating the pocket. And again, it goes back to that stuff we talked about earlier in the year when it was like eyes down, eyes up, eyes down. He's done a really good job this year because it wasn't – look, the Chiefs didn't get a ton of pressure on him, but that pocket was collapsing a lot of times, and it felt like his eyes could come down, and they didn't. And he kind of got out of the pocket and created. I think it's a part of his game that he is continuing to get better at.
All I'm going to say here is, I mean, they're both going to win a couple more MVPs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we could compare both of them. They're both probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame. They're both going to win a couple MVPs. Like Joe Burrow is like one more good playoff run away from pretty much solidifying it. I
don't know. Do you think Mahomes is a Hall of Famer right now? Wait, hold on. His internet went out. Yeah. This is a setup.
I think he said he also might get a couple Super Bowls. What was that?
Yeah.
Right, Professor Chaos here says, Q, I have my ship at the ready. So if you have that ship, go tweet it.
You got the chip ready.
Professor Chaos is going to do the chip with Q.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Go tweet us the chip challenge.
You gotta record what happens.
Yeah, if y'all doing that for Q, especially Browns fans, I'm assuming are gonna be doing it for Q. Just put it there. Chip
That's
for
some
Q.
real support. That's some real support right
chip
there.
for Q. Nova Stone, look, Nova Stone up here. Brady is undefeated when it matters.
Did it matter last year?
Wait.
Did it matter last year?
He's not undefeated, not even in the
Super Bowl. Definitely not even undefeated in the Super Bowl. So
he lost to Matthew Stafford last year.
Garrett, is Joe Burrow only kryptonite? And then we get Super Saiyan.
And Mitch Trubisky. Don't forget about Mitch Trubisky.
Who they? That's
little Mitch. Jermaine Pratt for sure. He's super underrated, bro. Jermaine Pratt has been playing out of his mind since week 9. Obviously, we know about the big play on Travis Kelce, but Jermaine Pratt, he doesn't get enough credit. Sometimes by Bengals fans, they're just like, oh, we're just going to sign Logan Wilson, let Jermaine Pratt walk. I don't know. You might not just want to let Jermaine Pratt just walk.
Wait. No. Don't talk about Logan Wilson putting doubts there.
I said I not told you we didn't need linebackers. Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt,
I said it on this show. Bengals get Logan Wilson back. They're gonna win this game. You know what I mean? Did I not? The Kelce eraser.
Jermaine Pratt. There you go. With a big shout out to Jermaine Pratt. We get here says, Ace, you agree that Chiefs?
Oh, that's a little strong. / Pat Mahomes are frauds and bad. I wouldn't say that they're frauds. I think that they're a really good team.
But you would say that
they probably are undefeated for the rest of the season. I don't think that they're bad. I just think when it comes to the Bengals and the Chiefs, we both have elite quarterbacks. So it comes down to the supporting cast around that and which team has more weapons or the better defense. And that's what gives you the edge against the Chiefs.
So we're doing
also, man, when you beat somebody like the Chiefs, you got to put them over so you could sound like you even more awesome, right? Like you
got to build them up, not knock them down. You don't want to say they're frauds.
Yeah. That's something a hater would say is the Chiefs are trash because the Bengals beat them. You know what I mean?
The Chiefs are not trash. The Chiefs are
frauds. They got beaten by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Literally why we got Joe Burrow is the Chiefs.
I have a take on that, but I'll leave it for Patreon. Because I have some stats that I pulled for Patreon, and I think it's the reason why the Chiefs are. I think the Chiefs are great because of Pat Mahomes. I don't think this is the best Chiefs team that we've seen in the last 3 years. Not even the second best Chiefs team.
You mean losing Tyreek Hill didn't make the Chiefs better like they claimed that it did?
Yeah, it did make them harder to defend because you don't know where the ball's going to go.
Burrow was sacked.
The shit people say on TV sometimes, man. Like that was on CBS.
You gotta fill time. You gotta fill time.
I thought you got that from Spaces because that's what all of.
No, I got that
you don't
from
know where the
Boomer.
ball's going.
Ace, I got that from Boomer Esiason. Like on national TV, he said, "Man, it looks like the Chiefs are even more dangerous because now you don't know where the ball is going to come from." And I'm like, you just legitimize one of the worst takes I've ever heard in my life.
Burrow was sacked on 4th and 1 by Aaron Donald in the Super Bowl in his first full season. Burrow over Mahomes. Period. I swear, if we don't beat the Clowns this week.
That would be tragic.
That's right. It's AFC North Palooza this week.
That's next. That's
boy. If this division becomes within 2 games for both teams, that's crazy.
Noah Stone here says, "Let me know when Joe Burrow has a winning Super Bowl drive, let alone 6."
All right, Nova. You know we play Tom Brady. He doesn't have too long left. It might be. Let me know when Tom Brady beats Joe Burrow.
Talk about the past now. He is still in fan mode where he can't talk about what's going on right now.
I'll talk about what's going on right now. No.
He got to bring up them 6 rings. Well, 7.
Oh, we do have 7. We also. I don't know if you guys heard this. The Steelers are now the first team since the merger to win 500 games. I don't know if you guys heard that. That happened this week too. So
no, nobody cared about that.
Nobody. No big deal, dude.
I was talking about this with somebody. I'm like, any NFL championship that happened before the Super Bowl is just a beta test. That was like when the NFL. That was when football was
exactly,
beta. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it don't matter if you won.
Yeah, like a little trial run. Yeah.
You didn't hit the 1.0 before anything. You know what I mean? Now we're in NFL patch 57 or whatever it is. Still broken.
The man to save the Browns is on waivers tonight.
You think he gets picked up by somebody?
I mean, he's trying to get to the Niners. I just don't know. Exactly.
No way. But do the Niners absolutely no way he gets to the Niners.
But do the Niners
think Seattle snatches him?
No.
I think. Well, in these situations, you usually get picked up by somebody who has a personal relationship with you. The problem with Baker Mayfield is that he's burnt a bridge with every coaching staff he's ever had. Right? He has thrown them under the bus at some point. So there's really nobody there to extend the line except for John Dorsey, who drafted him number 1 overall, and Alonzo Highsmith, who is in Seattle, right, in a position of power. But those are only 2.
Where's Dorsey at?
He's in Detroit, so there's no shot.
Yeah, no.
Right, so that doesn't make any sense.
Imagine
but
if he goes to add just to add this wrinkle to the Hard Knocks.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes, with Kyler and him.
Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and Cliff Kingsbury.
You should do it to stop the Niners. Yeah. That's
my God. I need that. I need that. Sonny, you're a genius. You are a producing genius.
Undefeated versus Mahomes. That's what we are talking about.
Huh? He a Bengal fan now?
Ray right here says, Q, if the season is going the same as last year, does that mean the Browns are sweeping the Bengals again?
If Joe Burrow doesn't play this week, sure. You know what I
mean? Bruce here says Jesse Bates deserve an Oscar. Oh my God, that was the worst.
That was
by the way. I
very
think the NFL should bring fining players to do that shit.
Well, it is World Cup. It is the World Cup we're going on right now, so it really just an ode to soccer.
Baker got that pink slip today again.
Well, he requested.
Did he request his release, which is bold of a man who does not dress on game day to request?
He wants to go to the Niners. He thinks either there's back channel stuff or he's just irrational confidence.
This is a man who has no.
Didn't he think that he could get traded to the Colts, and then the Colts were like, "We're not interested."
This is okay. Y'all don't understand who we're talking about. When he went to Oklahoma, he had no information that they were interested. He just showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what he does. He does not have
I like irrational confidence. See, that's the part of Baker that
he does not. This is how he's had success. He could 100% ask for his release because it can't get worse than what I'm doing now. Like, I'm not playing, and it's like, hey, maybe Kyle likes me. Dog, Kyle Shanahan was one of them people that hated Johnny Manziel off rip. And I'm not saying they're the same person, but the people who don't like Johnny Manziel tend to be the people who don't like Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I don't think Kyle Shanahan's like,
I'd be interested to see if he actually picked, because if Baker clears waivers and doesn't go to the Niners, then he's a moron because he just lost money. Right? He lost like 6 game checks.
No, he gets paid regardless.
He was on a guaranteed deal.
Well, no. You get paid because you get the players guarantee in the union, so you get the one time you get back pay.
Oh, gotcha.
But I don't know if he wants to use it here because it's not like it would have been that much money. It only been like $1 million left.
I thought every contract when the season starts, that contract for that 1 year. So if you had 3
waived
years,
a lot of his guarantees when he got traded. Remember?
No, I know.
Your game checks are for each game, right? You don't get paid.
Yeah, so he doesn't get the game checks. But he gets whatever his signing bonus was at the beginning. Yeah, so he keeps the guarantees.
Game checks.
He's already been paid the guarantees.
On the off chance he can go to the Niners. Now, if the Niners pick him up and friggin' Shanahan pulls this off, okay. We're talking about Shanahan gold jacket. But
like, why would Shanahan feel the need to do that with Baker Mayfield when he feels like he could do this with anybody?
Well, it's just a question of can he do it? Does Baker have a higher ceiling than Brock Purdy?
Yeah, that's the question.
Baker's QBR has been sub 27.
No, well, I mean, look, he's making it work with Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, they're 8-4 with Jimmy Garoppolo, though.
But Jimmy Garoppolo does things that kind of make sense sometimes. Like, this is the problem with Baker Mayfield. He doesn't listen to the coaches. Why would Kyle want that?
No. Right. This is what I'm wondering. Is Shanahan is there a back channel that happened that basically someone got in Baker's ear and said, "Hey, if you request a release,
this is not a man.
The Niners will pick you up."
Tampering.
This is not a man who operates like that. Tony.
It would essentially be tampering.
This is a man.
Is Baker just irrational confidence guy who said,
"No, Baker Mayfield is thinking in his head. He is thinking in his head. I'm Baker Mayfield. If I hit the streets, they gonna want me because I'm Baker Mayfield. No, that's what he be thinking.
I think this is true.
Kyle was there his rookie year, correct?
Yeah, no, Kyle was in Cleveland when Johnny Manziel was here. Kyle was well on his way of being he was already in the Super Bowl when Baker got drafted. Yeah. But yeah, it's probably not that, and it's like, why would he think Kyle would want? Like, he does not have a good grip on who he is.
The funniest thing would be that if literally no one claims Baker and then Baker goes unsigned throughout the entire,
I think that's very possible.
It's very possible, of course,
it is,
and it's like the perfect Baker Mayfield thing to happen.
And then the videos are gonna be hilarious. Baker Mayfield went from hero of the town to this man is not in the league.
Requesting your release because you think you're gonna get picked up by a potential Super Bowl champion and then ending up unemployed is just, I mean that is.
Dude, how bad the Panthers did that they just play him against the Baltimore Ravens, just that game. So they gave up an extra. They put it in. He got the snap count. Now he gave a 4th round for him, and then they're like, you know what, we're gonna cut you.
Yeah.
Mutual disinterest.
Yeah, mutual. That's right. They did at the end there. They started with a mutual disinterest and they ended with a mutual disinterest.
I'm ready now, sir, to head
home. Circle of Baker.
and the best 49ers QB. That is.
Someone did I hear this right that the Niners told Jimmy G they're interested in bringing him back next year? Now this is pre-ankle injury, but
that would be crazy.
Well, he's interested in coming back, is what I read.
Oh yeah, I can see
what
that.
else they gonna do? It don't seem like they think Trey Lance is good.
Thing. I mean, we gotta let it play out for a season. My goodness.
Yeah, I just don't think they feel like the brother's good. They gave the house for him, and it don't seem like they're very interested in having him play football.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if you're telling Jimmy, like, we'd like to have you back, that's there's a second part of that sentence that's being unsaid, which is we want you back because we don't really like Trey.
That means you're saying, hey man, Jimmy just does some stuff that Trey can't. And that's not something you say about somebody you traded 3 first-round picks for.
Mm-hmm. Abdul here says, simmer down, who they are not. Mahomes isn't the litmus test to secure a season. He can be beaten. I worry about that 0-3.
Dog, everybody can be
the division.
A lot of wrong stuff in this
better team lost yesterday. I'm sorry,
First
what?
Of all, not 0-3. We definitely have won one division game. And if
1-3.
Mahomes can be beaten, who beat him in the playoffs?
They won the Super Bowl.
I'm just trying to figure out who was winning the Lamar Hunt Invitational. That's what they called it in KC. If Mahomes was getting beaten in the playoffs and can be beat, who beat him before the Bengals? Please let me know who beat Pat Mahomes in the playoffs before the Bengals.
They won the Super Bowl, and the following year did not make the Super Bowl, right?
And no. That was the year that they lost
made
to Tom
the Super
Brady.
Bowl, made it back to the Super Bowl, lost, then made it to the championship game, lost.
They literally went all of the time. They called it the Lamar Hunt Trophy Invitational that they host in Kansas City. That's what their fans told us before we beat them.
Yeah,
we got bots in chat.
I got him.
All right, cool.
I didn't get the one chip, but I did order some tikka masala and ask for Indian level spice.
Appreciate the camaraderie.
This month here says Tom Brady gonna play up for a rough night to make up money lost on FTX.
Well, Fox Sports is gonna pay him all day.
I think
He already has
as long as he doesn't take it in crypto, he'll be fine.
Shout out to Odell Beckham, man. I wonder how that contract is still working out.
Long term, dude. Long term. Bitcoin to $1 million.
Oh yeah,
5 years.
That contract will be worth like $5 in 10 years.
Just never cash out. It's not a loss.
He might not have access to it, dog. Like he might have had it wrapped up in one of these exchanges that crashed. Like there's so.
Well, yeah.
That would be bad.
Boy, I bet you somebody's financial manager got fired.
How your pre-games? Some Pepto cute. Who they, baby?
Got that Towns, baby.
I hope the Bengals drop 50 on the Browns. Not even because they are rivals, just because Deshaun is, well, you know.
A polite person.
No, I don't know. I don't know, Sonny. What? I don't
He's
know.
A puss.
A pretty overtly sound citizen is what he's
I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
By the way,
I feel like he called him a child of God. That's what he called him.
The first time I heard the POS thing, somebody says, "Oh, something. He's a POS," and I'm like, "A puss? What is a puss?" This is just me, right? English and me and acronyms at work, and the people start laughing. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they told me, "Oh, okay." Baker Mayfield is musty. Okay.
Dusty and crusty.
Okay. Can't argue with that.
Akalong here says, I feel so bad for Lamar. Wonder what's going through his head, getting hurt after being
betting on yourself.
Betting on yourself. Thankfully, it doesn't seem serious. Nope, doesn't seem serious, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not here for the rest of the year. Baker Mayfield, 16.
Did we see Lamar Jackson's last snap as a Baltimore Raven?
No. Baker Mayfield, 16.8 QBR is the second worst by any QB to start each of their first 5 games.
He's worse than Deshaun Kaiser?
No. Yeah. If Kyle Shanahan can't make Baker look serviceable, he needs to just retire. He needs to just retire.
You know what's the wild thing? Baker was in the Shanahan offense, and then he said it didn't fit him. This is why, like, these are the issues with him, dog.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Do you think that? I mean, like Brock Purdy and the Niners are going nowhere, right? So, do you think that Shanahan just sees it as like a
a challenge?
Yeah, like a badge of honor. Like
Kyle Shanahan would try to get Brian Hoyer before he would get Baker Mayfield.
But think about this: if he gets Baker and they make it to the Super Bowl, even if they don't win,
even they win one playoff game,
dog, like the Super Bowl, like just continue to make the playoffs, like just finish out the season.
But imagine if that happens. So can Kyle basically say, "Okay, here's a blank check, Niners. I think you should give me a portion of your team."
Yeah. Let's just make this a portion of the profits every year. Not even the profits. Let's just go.
Baker Mayfield, the only way he could get to the 49ers is if he pays Kyle Shanahan for what he would do for him. Like, and even then, I don't know if he would do it.
Okay, so the Bengals are now 4-1 against current AFC playoff contenders and still have the Pats, Bills, and Ravens.
5-2.
If they can somehow win,
I know you did not.
I was just correcting it. Keep going.
Oh man, Chiefs drop one more. They'll have number 1 seed. The Chiefs are about to drop. Don't worry about it.
I don't know, man. Chiefs schedule.
Their schedule.
I was listening to Locked On Chiefs before this game, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't see ourselves. We're gonna be resting starters." And then I looked at their schedule. It's not like outside of the Seahawks.
Yeah, but
they don't have too many challenges.
They still the Broncos twice. So
I was gonna say.
By the way, y'all peep that. Ace was listening to Locked On Chiefs before and after the game. Oh, he was locked in this week, huh? Okay.
Hey, listen, that's my move.
Let me tell you something. This week
it was a lot of Pat Mahomes revenge game, 400 yards. He's going off. We had this one circled. It was a lot. We
all know who's listening to each other's channels this week.
Okay, but I guess what I was gonna say is the Denver Broncos play the Chiefs extremely tough, like legit super tough, and nothing will make Broncos forget about a bad season, at least for a week, that beating the Chiefs. So that's that. Those will be two tough games, and then I don't know if they still have the Chargers, but the Chargers always play them tough as well.
All right, let's get into the Browns game real quick.
Yes, go.
No, they only have the Broncos twice, the Seahawks and the Raiders. That's it.
Yeah, they played the Chargers twice already.
All right, so let's talk about this Browns game, at least my perspective. My perspective of this was, oh my God, the Texans are terrible. That's the only thing I could really take away from this, to be honest, right? I would love to come out here and say the defense is fixed and lie to y'all, but I don't know. Still look like they had some of the same issues. It just looked like the Texans were a horribly incompetent football team. Like, they are bad. I've watched bad football. I've watched 0-16 football. I've watched 1-15 football. I've never seen that. What they like, that was one of the worst played football games. I have never seen a team implode on themselves with such aggressive ferocity in that way. Like, every time they got to the red zone, 10 penalties, get them out the field goal range. It was amazing how like they were allergic to doing it. They fumbled a QB sneak on their own 1 yard line. And then it got scooped up for a touchdown. Davis Mills threw a pick six on a slip screen that didn't get snuffed out. It just was an inaccurate pass on a slip screen. Incredible. They had a fumbled punt return. Like, think about how bad the Browns defense is. And y'all have all seen it. It's bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They won the game. Well, that and special teams.
Yeah, defense.
21 points from the Browns defense and special teams.
Deshaun fixed it. Deshaun came in and fixed the defense and the special
Boy,
teams.
he had him a Jimmy Garoppolo game. It was all intangibles. You know, he just got him going on the sidelines. That was a Jimmy Garoppolo special that Deshaun dropped that day, boy, because that win does not count for his total, but it counts, right? Like, it's on the record. It counts. Crazy victory there. Yeah, so really I can't take away anything positive from the Browns defense and go too far with it, because it's clear that the Texans are a very incompetent team to start, and then you add in Kyle Allen, who boy, stinky dinky. He stink. He should have, I don't know what his turnover plays were for that game, but I counted 8. Like, I counted 8 almost interceptions in that game. Like,
I hate Kyle Allen because, and this is a very personal thing, but Kyle Allen was a Steeler fans tried to tell me back in the day that Kyle Allen was better than Duck Hodges, and no,
yeah. Kyle Allen is not better than anybody who has an NFL job right now. No,
well, Duck doesn't have a job. Duck's retired, but he went on.
I'm pretty sure that Duck Hodges would eat him in the Canadian Football League. That brother don't belong here. All right, they clearly put him out there to lose football games. Like, damn, when Davis Mills is not good enough to tank with, and you got to switch to Kyle Allen, how bad is Kyle Allen? We found out. It was like when Jim Sorgi got playing time, he was like, damn. He been in the league how long? Like, that was what it was like. Like, you was never meant to play. You was never meant to play in no real game. That's crazy. He was that bad. Offensively, obviously, Deshaun was rusty. He was a bit more rusty than I anticipated. I felt like some of it was like he's in a new offense. Some of it's he hasn't played football in a while. And some of it was his teammates just aren't used to him playing quarterback. There was a lot of like him extending plays and getting the ball out in the last second. And they were like, what the fuck? Like, the ball was just like popping up on them. So that was kind of a factor. They got a whole game to work in. We'll see what they look like next week offensively. I would assume eventually the offense is going to look fine, but they don't got much time if we're talking about this season. But I'm not somebody who really thinks the Browns have playoff hope. So, like, I'm not too stressed about it, right? Like, I'm looking at this in the long term for the Cleveland Browns. So, yeah, Deshaun looked pretty rusty. Nothing that concerned me though. Athletically, he looked the same. Pocket-wise, he looked the same. He seemed to have the same awareness of where everybody was on the field. He didn't get overwhelmed by that. Nothing that looked like it changed his fundamental skill set. It just looked like the ball came out of his hand weird a couple times because he wasn't used to throwing under pressure. And really, when you look at his numbers were only bad when he was pressured. So that makes sense. Somebody ain't played football in like 700 days. The pressure stuff's going to probably bug him a little bit. Even then, I think that's all kind of easily fixable. I didn't see anything that was like, oh, we might have a lemon, right? Like it didn't look like anything there. Yeah, that's really it. The offensive line kind of stinks last month. Oh man, that's a story that nobody's really picked up. And I'm kind of worried about that going into the Bengals because they have a good defensive line. This offensive line has not been good. DJ Reader could eat on a Sunday, but that's a story for another day. Is it time?
It's time.
So how this is gonna proceed here is we're gonna keep talking about the game and the Bengals. Q is gonna be taking his one chip challenge, and by the way, if you don't know why, they had a bet between Q and Ace, whoever got before 10K. There's a box.
Hey Q, I bet you would trade that steak for that hot chip, huh?
Boy, I should have did a steak dinner. You know what I mean? But no, I wanted to be entertaining. I was like, oh, well, they don't like me. So, would it sell better if I can sell embarrassment on the stream instead?
No, that's my thing.
This is why I wrestle. This is why watching wrestling was a terrible idea for my dad to get me into because I'm doing heels and faces and I should have just looked out for me. You know what I mean?
You eat spicy food, Q?
I do eat a ton of. My family's from Louisiana, so I might be able to make it.
Okay.
Good luck with this. Good luck with this.
I would die because I hate spicy food.
If I were you, I would have done. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's what's going to be worse, this what you're about to do right now, or the Bengals-Browns game that's about to take place on Sunday.
Oh, good Lord, this shit looks disgusting.
Oh, it.
I don't think it's no.
I don't think they do it for the taste. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, Q keeps opening that. I will say this about the game, right?
How much of it did you watch? Realistically, how much of it did you watch?
I watched about a half, and I thought it was.
That thing black?
It's black.
I gotta eat the whole thing, right?
Yeah, you have to eat the whole thing.
You might want to see. If I were you, I'd probably just go one and done, right? Just one gigantic bite.
I gotta go two.
Two. Yeah.
Two? Because the problem is you're gonna. Okay, all right. I mean that's like torturing yourself. I mean this is
I might
basically like
throw
a form of torture
Sonny,
to
they
yourself.
saying you got to do full screen, dog.
Oh, for Q? Okay, let's put Q at full screen here. While we can keep talking about the game while Q is there. You go. Yeah, we can keep talking about the game, and y'all can just watch. Yeah, that's a good idea. Whoever says it.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure.
Be blessed. Oh, so Tony, you asking me? I watched about a half, and it was bad. It was bad.
Okay, yeah.
By the way, the Texans are not bad. They're just atrocious. First bite has been taken here. They're atrocious, and there's no way that this thing. Think that milk, buddy.
I told you one bite because that second bite. See, you're only halfway
done.
That's
fuck!
That's the problem. I'm telling you.
I can't finish the chip.
Hey, you got to.
You have to.
And we're done. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for watching today.
I think he has a hose with water.
I would rather lose the Super Bowl than do that. I was just gonna put that out there.
If we don't, okay, he's back. He's back.
Oh fuck! Oh! Oh my god! Oh, that is so fucking hot.
Can't
I will die. I'm not. I know I will die because I cannot handle too much pepper. So I know I will die. Legit.
Oh, you don't like spicy food?
No, I can't. See,
okay.
People have a misconception here. All
right, Sonny.
Folks have
me and you hot chip challenge. If either team sweeps the other one,
no, I can't, Tony. I will die. I legit will die. I was gonna say people think that Hispanics like spicy food, and this is a misconstruction. Y'all in Florida, tell me when you go to a Puerto Rican or a Cuban restaurant, how many of those food are spicy? None of them. Our hottest dish in the whole Caribbean.
So Sonny, are you telling me you're worried that you're gonna get swept by the Steelers?
I just don't want to even put that thought out there, right? Because the universe would be, you have some bad karma somewhere.
All right, Q's back. Q, I was worried about you for a second there. Welcome back.
It's getting hotter, dog.
Now, yeah, well.
He's crying. Oh my God, this is gold. Q, sorry.
Just think about it this way. Hopefully by the end of the show, you'll start to feel somewhat normal. It's only an hour and a half away.
It's still not at the fucking worst point.
You still have half a bite, right? You still have another bite.
No, fuck that. That chip's in the fucking garbage, dog. I hate y'all.
I mean, you did this to yourself, bro.
Oh, this should be a regular part of the show. Whoever gets the L has to eat the chip.
I think Sonny, you and y'all got to do that. Y'all got to run that one.
I'm not taking the chance.
Sonny, are we doing?
Sonny, if it's 1-1, y'all don't eat. Neither of you guys.
But I don't even have Lamar anymore.
We have Kenny Pickett. You guys remember? Oh boy! Oh, now you're worried about getting swept by the kid. Come on,
Kenny Pickett.
Yes, when I don't have Lamar. Yes.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Okay. To finish.
Oh yeah, back to the Browns. Yeah, back to the Browns game.
I was gonna say that the Texans are an embarrassment. The Texans might be the first team legit that I think a college team can beat. And I never said that before, by the way.
Could Bama beat the Texans? I like that.
I don't know Bama, but Georgia could. I think that, I don't even know why they're not trying. It would have been good for them to beat the Browns. Because that will help them pick. They're not losing the first overall pick, but they can bring the Browns down a little more, right? Because they had that first round pick.
True.
No, but not even that motivates this team, because this team is done.
They're
yeah, I'm dying, but I'm fine.
Hey, can I make Q feel better? Q, I just want to let you know that I'm gonna share my screen real quick, because I just want to let you know, Q, I appreciate you saying this, and I just want to let you know I accept your apology. I just I don't know if you guys know, but I've been saying for a long time what Q.
It hurts when I laugh and talk, y'all. Stop.
But I've been saying for a long time that Kareem Hunt should be in, and not just short yardage. I mean, this is a start here, Q. But I would say in every down situations, Kareem Hunt should be in.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw Q.
This time. What are you doing, Q?
Get rid of that. Get rid of that.
I need some of that.
Do the challenge. Do the challenge.
No, because if I do the challenge, I will need legit a year's worth of that toilet paper for what's gonna happen to me after the show.
Here's the thing. It's only if one of us gets swept. So if we split, then it's
okay. Pre-show, I told you how Hundley keeps it close, but he usually ends up losing.
Yeah,
I don't want to take a chance. Like QC.
You don't trust Lamar. All right, so just make sure you write that down.
No, it's not. I don't trust Lamar.
Sonny does not trust Lamar.
I just told you we might not have Lamar. If I knew I had Lamar, I would take that challenge.
When you guys play this week, and when's the other week?
Week 16.
In 2 more weeks.
In 17. The second and last week of the year.
It's Kenny Pickett, man.
I think if Lamar's back, it might be against the Bengals.
They're scared.
Nah, but you got Roquan. You got Roquan Smith.
Yeah, Roquan Smith can pass the ball. Not that I dislike Hundley. I'll talk about Hundley later, but still, I'm not thinking. Dude, I will die literally. And the problem is, none of you fuckers can call here in England to the 911 in here.
Everybody wave bye-bye. Everybody wave bye-bye to the monetization of this episode.
Oh yeah.
No.
That was gone. That was gone.
That was gone. It's okay. So going back to this game real quick though, right? I mean, I think we can all agree there's not a whole lot to glean from this game because Watson looked so rushed. I mean, look, I don't. He may end up not being the same guy. I mean, I think there's a possibility, right? Like maybe a 5% chance that we're entering into that reality where like Watson's never going to be the same guy again. But you're not going to say that after this game because you're just going to say, well, he's a little rusty at this point. They also need to stop. I mean, their obsession with working Dre Archer, or as you Browns fans know him, Anthony Schwartz, into this offense will never not be funny to me. He was the one with the fumble in this one. But the other part of this game, so Watson was really rusty. The defense played well. The special teams played well. Peoples-Jones punt return was like a game changer in this one. but like the Texans suck. I mean, if we've all seen how bad the Browns are defensively, to look that good in a football game has to mean that, boy, you were playing someone real bad. I mean, you were playing someone real bad. Q, how you feeling?
He can't talk right now. Give him a second. By the way, if you have kids watching us, please,
so we apologize for the.
Sorry, we do we try, right? We try, but we do apologize. It's a special occasion. Anything else, Tony or Ace?
I got nothing.
For me, I think on this game, kind of like how I described it, not exactly this way, right? I thought it would be one where this game would be close at one point, then it would be, or I think I actually said the opposite. It would be a blowout, then it would be close. It was actually the opposite of that. So it was close, and then it was kind of a blowout. But yeah, I think Deshaun, he's shaking off the cobwebs, trying to do what he can there. I think you did see a lot of what he does bring to this offense with the option, right? The read option stuff that he had for a few plays in there, trying to create some stuff there. One of the things I did say was I felt like Kareem Hunt would be like his role would kind of go up a little bit with Watson because he is a guy that can catch out of the backfield. You saw some of that in this game. The defense stepped up. I mean, that interception, the first one was crazy. Like, that was a crazy interception.
Yeah.
Then you talk about the Donovan Peoples-Jones punt return. That was key in this game. Everybody else stepped up to win this game outside of the offensive unit. So the defense and special teams stepped up. They won the game. Like you said, the Texans are they even trying at this point? It's like a tank fest over there in Houston at this point. They're ready to get to the end of the schedule, but now you look up and you see the Browns at 5-7. They still have a chance to try to make a run here late.
Do they though?
I mean, right now, Jets are 7-5, and then 6-6. A lot of 6 and not a lot, but there's two teams 6-6. I think. I mean. The Bengals can put that.
You have to go to 10. You have to get to 10.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So the ESPN playoff simulator is out. I started playing with it. It's hard. It's hard to get the Browns or the Steelers to win a tiebreaker at 9-8.
Yeah, because we were talking pre-stream that both of y'all lost to the two teams that are fighting for that 7th seed, right?
Yeah.
Both of the teams.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, right? And then there's still the Chargers, but the Chargers will figure out how to not make it. So we don't have to
do a great job. They did a great job on Sunday. Did you see any of that one?
Yeah.
You look at the Browns schedule, in my opinion, especially now that we have the injury with Lamar, I think the only game I think that's going to be tough for them is the Bengals one. If they get to play the Ravens without Lamar, they get the Andy Dalton and the Saints, the Commanders, and at the end of the season, the Steelers. I mean, that can. Who knows?
I'm not even talking about the Steelers. I thought we were the Heineke Hive over here.
Yeah.
The Heineke Hive is real.
I thought we were the Heineke Hive. I mean, you think they're just going to walk into Washington and win?
If Q gets eliminated by Tyler Heineke, that show will be a crazy one.
Hold on.
Was it hot? Then why are you drinking your water? Was it hot? You wanted to drink it all. It's fucking spicy. Ooh. Tabasco, you wanted it.
That might be considered child abuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
a little bit much there.
That was tough. That was tough. Anyway, before we keep going, because I know we have a bunch of super chats, guy. I know, but Tony, let's pay some bills.
Let's do it. It's never too early to play holiday music. It's never too early to start thinking about gifts. Whether it's for a friend or the friends in your pants, you can make this season to be jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor and use the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. Santa cares about his sack, so should you. Look nice when you get naughty by going to manscaped.com and use our promo code AFC North Talk. That's AFC North Talk, all one word, for free shipping and 20% off. The Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is the one-stop shop for the man who deserves it all. It has everything needed to help you deck the halls from face to balls just in time for mistletoe season. The Platinum Package has each product from the best-selling Performance Package, plus the Ultra Premium Body Wash, the Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner, and the Ultra Premium Deodorant. It's the best way to smell fresh from your Santa hat to your candy cane. The Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer and the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer feature proprietary advanced skin-safe technology to protect your delicate presence. Plus, both are waterproof, so there's no issue clearing snow out of your driveway. There's also a 4000K LED light, so you can light the way like Rudolph. Now that you've groomed your candy cane, it's time to make sure you don't smell like a reindeer with the Platinum Package's shower products. All of Manscaped shower gear is sulfate-free, vegan, and made to have your skin feeling hydrated and smelling fresh. But smelling good doesn't stop at the shower. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner can solve stank problems all day long. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back. The Platinum Package 4.0 sitting under the tree is guaranteed to put anyone in the holiday spirit. And the perfect stocking stuffer, add in the brand new Body Buffer, an incredible body scrubber that makes exfoliating easy, a lot cleaner than that old loofah. So get 20% off and free shipping, but you got to use our promo code AFC North Talk. That's AFC North Talk, all one word, at manscaped.com.
And Manscaped has hell of a products. You could go check them out. Products are amazing.
Yep.
They work. They're easy to use. Also, big shout out to Adam Holland, Dom Gasulo for being that top Patreon backers. We appreciate all our Patreon backers. Thank you for everybody that supports us. If you want to support us a little bit more, link in the description below. Q.
You got a second one? You got a second one?
You drink it all?
Well,
I think I'm gonna make it, y'all.
Okay, good.
I don't know. It might have a second window.
So you're saying,
all right, now go get that second half of the chip and dig that out. Let's go. Come on. We need that second half of the chip.
Go fuck yourself, Tom.
Okay, we have a couple.
Sorry, chat. Sorry, kids in chat. Don't be like Quincy.
So what are the rules after the chip? No milk for 5. No,
are you kidding me?
Oh my goodness.
That was harsh. One blue. That was harsh. No. It was surviving the one chip. That was the rule. Survive it.
I bit the chip. And it's in my stomach.
All right, Sonny, for ours, no milk for the amount of minutes in the point spread of the games.
Dude, no, I can't do it.
Yes.
I will die. I'm not joking.
Yes.
I will die.
Let's do it.
I will say this. It has to be like, no, I can't do it. No.
Letting the flock down, Sonny. Letting the flock down.
No, Sonny, don't do it. No, they don't have their best interests in mind. This ain't good, bro. You got kids and shit. No,
I don't know why we're saying Sonny don't do it. Like it's Sonny putting himself at risk. The Ravens are 8-4.
There will be some bad karma coming my way.
Q, you know what they're saying the bet is though, right?
What?
No, he doesn't know.
The Ravens would have to get swept. So whoever, if the Ravens get swept by the Steelers, Sonny has to eat the chip. If the Steelers get swept by the Ravens, Tony has to eat the chip.
You gonna lead this up to a Tomlin game? No. What?
Tomlin game, no Lamar. No Lamar. Tomlin game, no Lamar.
Nah.
No Lamar only in the first one.
You don't know. Garba said it's gonna be week to week.
Last year they thought it was week to week with Lamar. He ended up not playing.
Lamar playing on a contract. Now he needs a contract. Okay, this guy wants
contract.
He's not coming hurt.
So you think he want to put bad tape out there?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Like one bad tape. Yeah, one bad game.
You think he looking at Baker Mayfield like, yeah, let me go play injured.
Raven Ron didn't get the memo.
Okay, Watson was tight. You can't tell.
Yeah,
he hasn't had. Okay. Okay. Q, I don't have any hot food, but I bruised myself.
We got some great super chats tonight.
This is for all the Bengals slander, Q.
Guess what?
Q, quit with that Bengals.
Guess what?
On the show,
I regret to inform you that the chip did not kill me. So your worst enemy is still alive, Bengal fans. Yeah. What's up with it? 3-0 against the Chiefs, 0-3 against the Browns. No, right? You ain't get the one that mattered. All right. You ain't get the one that mattered. Joe Burrow still got one thing to get off his back, baby. He can get that little interim fake championship versus the Chiefs all he wants. But guess what? The real daddy coming to town this week to bringeth the smack down. You thought I was dead? No, I'm alive. You should have killed me, Bengal fans. You came this close. I saw the Reaper, but you didn't kill me, and I regret to inform you that I am still kicking. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back, Bengal fans. And you know what? That chip done put that dog in me. Now I got that dog in me this week. Let's go. Ooh, yeah. You want to do this to me? You want to make me cry in front of thousands of people on national stream? All right, that's what y'all want to do to me. I got you, Bengal fans. I got you. Don't lose on Sunday. I know it was Bengal Nation, and it wasn't just Ace. They formed like the Infinity Gauntlet on Thanos to do this to me. It was the Bengal captain. It was all the Bengal girl. All of them. I saw them. Everybody that was at that photo shoot where they brought all the like Bengals influencers was out here retweeting my slander so I could eat this chip. I got a beef with the whole zoo, dog. I got a beef with the whole Houday Zoo. Okay, every single one of y'all. I got beef. Made my tongue blue. Made me cry. Good. I put this on film.
Okay, I have to go through this super chats here. Don't touch your Manscaped Q. And then, hey, Q, Watson look rusty as in he needs to learn timing to throw the receivers and not so much pocket presence and mechanic. Your thoughts?
It's okay. We play Cincinnati this week.
Ray right here says, here's for your demonetization.
I appreciate
some milk.
Okay. Alexander, you cheer for the Bengals? Okay, on the list.
This one here says, yeah, Puerto Rican food fried nuts. Yeah, we put a lot. I keep saying this too, by the way. Not to this. We put a lot of spices, nothing spicy.
If you guys sweep the Steelers, Sonny, I don't want to hear it, bro.
That's okay.
You didn't take the bet.
I would die. No, I literally would die. I'm not even joking. Tabasco will make me die, so I can only think this ship out. I mean, yeah. I knew it was over once Q pulled out the O.J. Simpson.
That's good. That's a good one, Bruce. Bruce is exempt. I don't know who Bruce cheered for. Bruce is exempt. Bruce, all right with me. That was funny.
You said Tom Brady wasn't the GOAT, and watch what happens.
He's not the GOAT. You know who's better than Tom Brady? Otto Graham. Yeah, I said it. OG 14. The original Belichick and Brady was Otto Graham and Paul Brown.
Here from AA Ron. Love the show, guys. The Bengals are absolutely hitting their stride right now. They have
it's still there.
I think it's definitely possible.
I think if they can get past the Browns and the Bills, I think it is possible. I think they kill.
He doesn't even count the Ravens at this point. He's like, yeah.
Well, if the Ravens don't have Lamar, I don't know. You told me they won't have Lamar.
I think
you don't even think they're going to sweep the Steelers. So that's I mean, you might get swept by the Steelers even.
I'm just saying that I wouldn't bet this with Hundley. I think you could stay in the first place spot. You know what? Yes, I'll do that. I'll concede my first. Yeah,
there it is.
No, I don't want it until I earn it.
Yeah,
I want it. I want it when I earn it. You know what I mean?
If the Browns sweep the Bengals, Ace should eat the
no more chips. It's like the booty beat down. I'm gonna eat the chip for everybody. Okay, you know what I mean? Like we gonna not do this.
Smoking that cheese pack daytimes.
The rest of this podcast has families, y'all. Y'all need to chill.
That's true. Q is a little bad.
Dependence.
But it's okay. Oh, Professor Chaos ate a chip, right? He was the
Yeah,
one.
he did.
Yeah,
He said no milk too. He said he went no milk.
Apparently, he eats like California Reapers, like hot Cheeto chips because he's fine. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Because I'm dying out here.
He said that he tweeted us. Let me see if I can find this.
He tweeted us a video of him doing the chip. Did he take a video?
I appreciate you, Professor. You all right with me.
I don't see it.
If I ever snap at you during the live stream, understand it's nothing personal. I do it to everybody. So, you got the G-Pads. I'll try to think about that because he be at the live streams and I don't know. Y'all know if my live streams, I'll be snapping on people during the game. So, like, all right with me.
So here he showed the pics and then Ben Sommer. I don't see his chat or his super chat comment, but I appreciate the donation. Oh, here it is. I ate one of those one time and then played water polo game afterward. Was so terrible.
Yeah, that's true. See, that's the underrated part of these hot chip things is okay. So it doesn't burn your mouth anymore, but then you still have to digest that thing. So
I don't want to know what that's gonna look like.
The second burn. I still have not.
That's not a joke for air.
This dude is next level. But Q, this is the super chat I want you to see.
It's a great point. That's a great point.
Mr.
This guy, it's Tony. Tony writes in $5.
Well, Tony, if
I
you
thought it was
drive
the hot
up
chip challenge.
Tony, I put my address in the private chat. So if you want to drive up and take care of the other half of the chip, you're more than welcome to.
No, I offered to eat a full chip.
You should say
a full chip challenge against Sonny, who won't take me up on it. But that's
okay. Look,
man, Sonny.
I was not expecting.
Could have took that, bro.
I was not expecting. It tasted like cardboard. And it was gross and it was hotter than I could have ever imagined. Okay.
I think I do see him. I think he just took a picture.
I needed you to
tweeted that.
It's under Q's tweet. Christopher Zaleski. He says that he will survive. He's showing that his tongue has the coloring, the food coloring on it.
Which one?
He bought the same one and everything?
Same one.
Yeah, you can just get it on Amazon, right?
You can get.
When you eat yours, I'll eat mine. Like the bad boys, we ride together, we die together. Let's go Browns. Wolf.
Oh, he has it. Okay,
that's
let's do the Amazon.
Right there,
okay, I'm gonna show the video. I'm gonna show the video here real quick. Shout out to him because he did it for Q. So that's just percent. Let me present this here. Share screen. Look at
Make
this.
sure you share audio.
Yes.
Oh, he did it?
Okay, so hopefully the audio comes in.
Oh, he watching it down with Bud Light?
Every bit.
Oh, he's gangster, dog. I did not handle it with that level of G. I didn't have a Nick Chubb jersey, though. I didn't have that armor on me.
Dude, he just went in.
Dog.
No, Q, he making you look bad, dog.
Hey, look, bro.
Get him off.
No. This is impressive. I'm thinking if you don't understand what's going on here is impressive because the second you touch that, your tongue touches that chip.
He's pretty heavy. He's pretty heavy.
I would be like Q. My reaction would be similar to Q.
Look at that.
Boy. That's crazy. Oh boy.
Damn. Respect.
Respect.
That is massive respect. My goodness.
Send him the little Derek Jeter respect meme.
This dude, look.
So far, it's at a minute.
Wait, this is the dude in the chat?
I think so. Look, he was the one under Q. No?
Whew.
I had to eat
Is that
it.
Scott Allen Hill? Is that under me?
Christopher.
That's the dude I'm talking about.
That's Chris. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Christopher, but somebody else put it under you, Q, a Browns fan there, and he ate it.
I think he ate it before. Is that who I think it is? Hold on, let me do some research on who I think that is.
And Scott.
Is that the dude that was telling me Deshaun Watson's suspension would be 4 games?
Okay.
There was something.
Anyway, shout out to the people that did this with Q. Shout out to you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You had the community. The ship may heal Q, wake up, like the Undertaker.
I'm not gonna lie. Woo, boy, I got sweet chin music hard. Like,
Incoming from Steelers fan, if they lost this week, you're supposed to be a 5-7 team with Kenny Pickett as QB. Keep the same energy. Sweet.
Oh, here, keep this energy. Go look up the line for the game right now.
I don't even know.
I thought he was a Steelers fan, so he's a Ravens fan?
Yeah, he's a Ravens
That guy
fan.
was.
I know that was a joke, Q, but you aren't wrong about Graham and Browns being the OG Brady. And
look, before the first Super Bowl, they was beta testing everything. You know what I mean? Like the NFL makes a lot of sense if you think of it like a video game that's lasted. Like if you think of it like World of Warcraft that's just been around forever, and like all these updates to the game, then you start to understand how the NFL is.
Listen, this buff that they gave to the Bengals, I don't like it. They need to nerf that shit.
Yeah, now we're in the like I'm afraid of what the name of this expansion is going to be once we hit 1.0, but it feels like the Burrow expansion. I'm not down. I'm not down with that.
I have not been. No.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, we might have to start one of those campaigns on Reddit or something like that.
Pretty sure Smooth Criminal was playing in the background when Q brought that glove out. Go Browns. And with that, please make sure you like this video. Let's talk about the Steelers game, Tony. Let's talk about the Steelers. Those scrappy Steelers. They were winning big. They got close for a minute there, you know. It got interesting. My wife has this thing that she will be watching a game, right? Let's say the Ravens are winning 24-3. And she will start saying, oh, I hope the other team scores so it can make it interesting. And I'm like, why would you want to make it interesting? I don't. Make another game interesting, because that's just putting suffering here, right? And then has happened in the past that it gets close, and I started looking at like, this is all you. This is all you because you put that energy. But anyway, what was your thoughts about this game? I see Najee Harris, a stiff arm, went through the whole.
Yeah, and I think this is Najee's best game of the year. And I know it wasn't like, you know, the numbers aren't exactly gaudy. I mean, he ran for 5 yards to carry, but I just thought the way that he ran the ball, right? I mean, the guy is.
It was angry.
Najee is running angry.
He was watching Sunday talk about him on AFC North.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he listened to AFC North talk last week. You guys tried to have a victory lap and then cut short. Look, I come out of this game really, really happy with what I've seen. And it's not just what happened against the Falcons, but I think it's just the level of play that we've seen since the bye, right? I mean, you know, I'll go back to the same thing I say every week on this show, which is when we got to the bye and Steeler fans started saying, look, the schedule's going to ease up and this team's going to go on a run. I said, okay, that's fine, but it can't just be based on, well, TJ's back, so the defense is back to being dominant. And I'll tell you what, I mean, that has not been the case. I mean, that's really been the furthest from the truth. Right? I mean, I would say that this team has been anything but dominant. I was talking to my brother last night, who also a Steeler fan, and he was saying, you know, he told me, he said, I probably trust the offense more than the defense right now. And I don't know that I go that far, but I do think it speaks to the idea that, like, right now, the offense is ascending and the defense is, I don't know if I'd say it's like descending, but it's certainly not living up to the preseason billing. Now, obviously, TJ, you watch him out there. He is very clearly still going through it. Dude's got, you know, he's basically like the new Ben Roethlisberger. You know, the Ben Roethlisberger meme with all the, with all like the stuff all over him. I mean, that's, you know, TJ's got a rib and a pack and a knee.
The impressive thing was that your boy KP didn't throw a pick.
No, he hasn't thrown a pick in, I think, 5 games now. I mean, that number was always going to come down. I thought the interception stuff with Kenny was unfair because, you know, a lot of his interceptions weren't even, they weren't even judged as turnover-worthy plays. I mean, it was just like a lot of that stuff early on was fluky. So I think this is just a regression to the mean for Kenny. But I think overall, though, the thing that I come away impressed with in this game is that, you know, every Steeler fan's mad today, and rightfully so. You know, you're a Steeler fan. You're saying, hey, this team left a lot of points on the board. You know, they are on the field. You know, they scored 4 field goals in this game. They should have scored more. Right? They had so many chances for touchdowns, and that's true. And to me, that's awesome because, boy, that's a very different problem that we were talking about a month ago or 2 months ago, right? I mean, 2 months ago, we're talking about this offense couldn't get a friggin' first down, right? They were setting records for the worst drive success rate in the National Football League. Now, here we are, and this team didn't punt until the fourth quarter in this game. Now, you talk about it's interesting you brought that up. You know, the whole, like, your wife kind of roots for the opposition to kind of make the game close, just make it interesting.
Just to make it interesting. I hate it.
I wanted, okay, so I'll admit, I wanted the Falcons to score a touchdown. When it was 19-13 and they were driving, I kept saying to the people I'm watching with, I'm like, why don't just let the Falcons score here? Because I want to see Kenny in a, like, okay, it's late in the fourth quarter now, so there was going to be like 3 or 4 minutes to go. Okay, let's see it, right? Let's see Kenny in a spot where game's on the line. You got the ball, road game. And I don't know how much you guys watched this game. This was not a road game. This was Pittsburgh South.
This was a home game.
This was
number 83 caught that touchdown.
This was basically a home game. Yeah. I mean, I would have been well at home if I had been at this one. But that didn't happen. Obviously, they got the intercept, or they got the home no field goal. But I thought that next drive, credit to Tomlin, credit to Canada, let Kenny cook. They let Kenny throw the ball. It wasn't just let's just run the ball 3 times and run this clock out. They wanted to let Kenny get first downs, and they did. They ran 5 minutes off the clock at the end. They're giving the Falcons back the ball at with only like under a minute to go. By the way, shout out to Minka, by the way, who ends this game with an interception that probably should have been a pick 6, but he decided to, he must have watched the Jets-Browns game and decided, nah, let's not go through that silliness. Let's just end this thing right here. Went out of bounds. Steelers take a knee. But no, look, I'm really excited with where this team is offensively now. Am I daydreaming all day about 10-7? Of course, right? Do I got the glasses prepped for what could be an epic Heel Tony showing, Week 18 review show on this channel? Yes. But at the end of the day, even if that doesn't happen, the thing that excites me right now is that Kenny Pickett looks better week after week, right? It's a consistency on offense. Najee Harris looks better week after week. The offensive line is starting to put together back-to-back performances week after week. And so, are there worries on the defense? Sure, there's worries on the defense, but there are things we already knew. Right? We went into the season saying that this corner room's a little weird, and I defended it by saying, no, I trust Tomlin. But I think even Tomlin would tell you today, like, we're probably going to take a corner in the first round. Like, that's probably going to happen. Maybe that or an offensive lineman, but one of those first 3 picks will be a corner. So I'm just happy that at the end of the day, I don't have the same feeling about this offense as I did 2 months ago. 2 months ago was, holy crap, do they need to replace? Do they need a new running back? Right? Do they need a new quarterback? Do they need a new coordinator? They probably still need the coordinator. But the rest of it, I'm starting to feel a little better about. Now, obviously, big test coming up on Sunday. The Ravens defense is still good. And I'm interested to see how this team does now against a much stiffer competition in that game. But so far, over the last month, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing.
I would say this. One thing that I have seen from the Steelers lately is the addition of the Muth.
Yeah.
The Muth has been featured a little bit more and more. And you know what I feel about the Muth?
He was great in this game.
And then the other thing I saw was Pickens, not Kenny, the wide receiver.
Yeah,
he wasn't happy. He
threw a little temper tantrum. Yeah, he had a little.
He's not that happy that they're not throwing him the ball much. I can see him one day being so upset swinging at somebody.
Now listen, but you know me, Sonny. And I understand it's not a binary choice, but would I rather have a guy like George Pickens or a guy like Chase Claypool, right? I'd rather have the guy who's.
I need a Pickens right now in my team.
Yeah, exactly. Like you would take George Pickens right now. Yeah, I mean, like if this is look, and I trust that there's enough adults in the room. You saw Cam Hayward go to him on the sideline and try to calm him down. There's enough adults in the room that I think Tomlin and whatnot will kind of get that part of it under control. But I like that Pickens. Remember the moment that happened is the moment where Deontay fumbled. And by the way, we should talk about that moment because. Hilarious that play. That is definitely a catch and fumble. 100% that was a catch and fumble. He turned upfield.
Yeah.
But, Deontay has a rep. Rep.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked out for him.
Yeah, listen, he's dropsy guy. So came through. The one clutch drop in Deontay's career.
This is when he looks at Tomlin and says, like, you mad?
Yeah.
Who dropped the ball now? You lucky.
Yeah. Q, can you talk? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Go ahead, man.
I'm nervous to talk. Yeah.
About to spit fire.
Yeah, I underestimated how bad the Falcons were. And I think I underestimated also that maybe the Steelers' offense might not be terrible. Maybe. I'm still not sold because like Najee was never really high on Najee. And then Kenny Pickett, same as him. But they do have some pieces. It is interesting how the Steelers always end up with these wide receivers that are like end up going to probably be great, but then they end up having to trade them like before their rookie deal's over or something like that. Like, well, not rookie deal because AB got to like the second contract before you had to trade him. But it always like Mike Tomlin certainly has a type. You know what I mean? At that position.
It's the old, like, you'd rather make them say whoa than sick them, right? That's Tomlin's line.
How did we not? How was Tony the only one that saw the George Pickens to Pittsburgh thing coming? Too I
didn't necessarily see it coming. I just loved Pickens. And it's my hate of Claypool that made me love Pickens.
Oh, okay. It's probably what made Tomlin love him too. You know what
probably.
I mean? Because the second he found out Pickens could be the real deal, he was like, all right, let's get rid of Clay. We can get rid of Claypool.
Early second.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like the second overall pick in the second.
I promise you, Mike Tomlin be seeing George Pickens do that stuff, and I know because I be like this too. Because whenever I see a fight happen in front of me, I do this thing unintentionally where I start smiling and shit because I'm like, oh, it's a fight. I bet Mike Tomlin like, yeah, okay, all right, I see you. Hey, calm down. Like, you gotta switch it up. But yeah. I bet he likes that. But yeah, Pittsburgh, they are good enough. I would say this. They are good enough. They're not a bad team anymore. I think they are now upgraded to mediocre, which means good enough to beat anybody, good enough to lose to anybody. But they got a good coach. And I said this on the podcast before, competence wins football games more often than it doesn't. And when you're going up against a first-year coach, like some of these things are going to pop up. You're going to get things reputation-wise when you're Mike Tomlin and his team, that might lean your way on the margins. Not saying like you're going to get like favoritism or anything, but you're probably going to get different calls. But yeah, I think Pittsburgh, they're mediocre. It's interesting because the Browns and Pittsburgh are pretty similar in their way of like, they could win the next games that they have. They could lose. Like, you know what I mean? Because these are very talented last place teams there, right? Like not many last place teams in a division. Like, what other division can you think of where the third and fourth place teams have defensive player of the year candidates or guys who are fixtures in that conversation? So it's going to be interesting to see what this division makes up of it. But yeah, this is the one where I was like, all right, Pittsburgh's not terrible because they were up. This was their game. Like they were going to win this game, right? At no point did I feel like Pittsburgh was at.
Well, there was. I talked about it on the show, like the anti-Tomlin game, right? The game where you're like, wait, how did they lose that one? And there was that moment when the Falcons were driving in the second half. The Falcons got the running game going in the second half and started dominating the line of scrimmage. And it got to be a little worrisome there because it's a possibility that they take the lead and then, Pickens doesn't come up big in that moment. And the Falcons win this game 20-19 in a head scratcher.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And one thing I wanted to get back to my point about the Browns game real quick is, when I knew that game was over, I had no worries about the Browns winning that game. I want you guys to guess when I knew that game was over.
When it started?
Yeah, I was gonna when they kicked off.
No, I'm not. Obviously, not that. But like, at what point during the game,
for me, it was
like
the punt return.
The punt return that was for you.
Yeah.
Anybody else got?
Yeah, the punt return basically sealed it.
Yeah.
Okay. In the first half of that game, the Browns had 3 pretty egregious turnovers, and they had 5 points. Yeah. And they only had 5 points because one of those turnovers was a safety. And when the Browns scored a touchdown after those 3 turnovers, it took the lead by 2 points. I was like, no, they're winning the game, dog. Yeah. Like the Texans are not making up a 2-point deficit. And at that point, I was like, you got 3 turnovers and you're still down by 2. That's trash, dog. Like, that's when I was like, that game's over.
Okay, Ace, any thoughts on the Steelers game?
Yeah, I think like you, I picked the Falcons in this one, but like Tony just pointed out,
you guys picked the Falcons.
This was a home game. I had to see
a road game.
Get on the road, baby. I had to see it happen. And Kenny picked.
He just picked the Colts on the road. Oh,
or did he prove me right? When they drafted him, what did I tell Tony? Welcome to the Andy Dalton experience. You're not gonna suck, but you're just gonna be just good enough to win games. But I won't even troll on that. Shout out to the Steelers. Tony. They went out in this one, got the victory. I think one of the things that Kenny, in my opinion, impressed me with in this game, there were 0 sacks given up, but I think the way that he moved around in that pocket and ran away from potential pressure, I think was big. The one thing in this game that stood out to me, they must be like the fact that they paid Deontay Johnson. It's like, dude, you got to earn that contract. They gave him a lot of targets. It seemed like in this game, that was one of the reasons that George Pickens didn't get it. And unfortunately, like he made an impact, but he didn't get the touchdown. But I think that's a concerted effort. Like, dude, if you're making this much money, we have to make you a focal point of this offense. I thought Freiermuth played well in this one. I think, like Tony said, the running back Najee, I think that this was one of his better games that we've seen, especially with the 5 yards per carry. And it just seemed like the typical Tomlin win. Like, I'm sitting there watching at the end, and I'm like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way Marcus Mariota is driving. And you got to give them credit for the special teams team pinning them down at like the 2-yard line.
Yeah, great point. Yeah,
that was super clutch. Yeah. When I saw Marcus Mariota step on the field, though, I was like, there's no way he's driving down to win this game. And
we all forgot
typical Steelers passion. Minka Fitzpatrick interception on the first play to end it. That was a Tomlin game. This team is not going to be super bad at all. I think that they're going to be like right on the cusp of making the playoffs, but might not make it. But the Steelers aren't going to be an easy out, I think, for anybody.
And to be honest, by the way, if we are all honest here, that's what we want from the Steelers.
Yeah, look, I was about to say, Tony, you're about to have 3 years of like about 500 football, right? Because you can't play 500 anymore, but about 500 football.
Well, if we make the playoffs again this year, if they make the playoffs again this year, it'll be Tomlin's probably his greatest achievement in the last 3 years. And if you're telling me that every year we're just going to make it harder and harder on ourselves and then still like shock the world.
No. Here's what I'm saying, Tony. Here's what I'm saying.
I'll be that guy.
You are about to have an incredible interior offensive line because you're about to be picking consistently from 12 to 20.
30 forever. I mean, this whole idea that the Steelers need a top 5 pick to rebuild.
No. I'm not saying, but you do need a top 5 pick. Well, it does increase your chances at certain positions, right?
Quarterback, but they nailed. They might have nailed quarterback. If they nailed quarterback,
well, like every other position you can get. I'm just saying, you know how the Steelers draft. You know what's burnt them before, and they're not gonna go again. I'm telling you, they gonna use them picks to build the O-line, and y'all about to have an incredible interior O-line in like 3 years.
Well, I mean, I don't think they'll. Well, they can take a center. No, they won't take a center in next year's draft. It'll be a guard. No, they're gonna take a corner, dude. No, corner.
Artie Burns.
They don't ever take corners, man. They got one corner they like every draft, and then if they don't get him, they like get somebody terrible.
William Jackson still not
happened once. You're talking about the Artie Burns draft, okay? That happened one time, so not every time.
It was William Jackson who they fell in love with.
William Jackson was good
for like 2 years.
They still got him, by the way. He's coming off of IR soon. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this, dude. That once again, this isn't even our final form. This isn't even our final form. You guys haven't.
You're talking about a big Will Jackson return?
I mean, my goodness, you guys are screwed. Steelers are winning the division, 10-7. Get ready. Super Bowl 2 is coming. Wild card weekend. Super Bowl 2. Wild card weekend.
Weekend.
Pickett versus Burrow. Let's go.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Let's talk about the Ravens game. Let's talk about
Sonny. No. Do you want to say something? To Najee real quick before we get going?
Najee?
No, somebody said.
You want to say something to Najee?
No,
hey, somebody said that the Chiefs should sign Baker Mayfield for the playoffs.
That's a good one. That is a good one. No, Najee this season, especially in the last 4 games, he's been right.
Why?
He's been okay. He's done nothing impressive.
The Steelers have a top 5 running game since in the last month.
I like how he squeezed in last week into Najee's like upturn because Najee had like 35 yards or like 10 carries.
Again, I'll go back and say that look, the yards per carry weren't there. I will agree with that. Too many negative runs in that game. But I don't think that was like it was back to him being. I'll just say this. I don't think he went back to the rushing style that made him a bad running back in the weeks 1 through 8. That was my point last week.
Mm-hmm.
So Professor Chaos here says, I have to come clean.
This is my
first super spicy thing. I had eaten the world's hottest beef jerky before.
Hey, man, good on you. I'm not eating the world's hottest anything. Let me tell you that. Like, hey, I have learned about myself today. If there is a hot challenge, I'm out. I will fold. I fold it, dog. Like,
Bengals critics are so envious of our team. I'll take your chip wager.
There we go. See, Sonny? Look, you got.
Okay.
We're going to do this, Sonny. We're going to do this.
Oh, don't do this.
Sonny, we're going to do this.
Well,
See,
you
nobody
can
listens
do
to
it
me.
at
No, I'm not accepting from a guy in chat. There's no content there.
He's my representative for this
Yeah,
chat.
yeah, you're gonna get
Hold
represented.
on. If this guy does it and Sonny doesn't, then he has to come on and Sonny has to be in the listeners.
Well, no, we're not doing that. We're
No,
not just
we're not. No,
Me versus Sonny.
no.
Sonny, are we doing this?
When we have advertisers, we can't just put anybody
All
up
right, Sonny,
here.
you know what? We'll give you till Friday to think it over. We'll give you till Friday to think it over. On the preview show, we got to figure out if we're doing this.
Sonny, look at me. Look at me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Y'all don't ever listen to me when I try to forebode y'all about certain things. I've not been wrong. Don't do it.
The best part about this bet, if we actually do it, is that whoever wins on Sunday is going to be feeling great. Not just about the win, but that they don't have to do the challenge. Period.
Yes.
And then the other person is going to be sweat.
Oh my god!
I'm still.
Can you imagine this
feeling
goes
the
trending?
effects.
This goes trending, and the Ravens and Steelers put like the actual teams put this shit.
Let's go.
Is Lamar playing?
Viral.
They seeing anyone get hurt? He's not playing this week. That's doubted, highly doubted. I actually don't think he might play. If he comes, it will be the week before the Bengals, like 4 weeks. I think 4 weeks is where he's out. Bengals fan love to chirp, but they are still the little bro in Ohio. Damn, I'll take their fan seriously when they get TV time in Columbus over the Browns.
Ooh, a little spicy. Go to cleveland.com/Bengals for me.
Is that still there?
Oh boy.
There's a play the music conversation we can have about that whole thing.
If we had to pick between Chubb, Garrett, who stays?
That's an easy question.
I mean, that's the easiest question of all time.
Especially for Tony.
Now, a harder question would be Hunt versus Garrett. Who stays?
You walked to that troll chat. You walked to the Texans have the worst offense ever.
But you know they kept Garrett, which they would if it came down to it.
Of course they would keep Garrett.
They would keep Garrett.
Answering that Texans question, I'm pretty sure it's the Broncos, bro.
Well, did the Broncos lose to the Texans?
They said, do the Texans have the worst offense ever? And I was like, I'm pretty sure that might be the Broncos.
No, it's the Texans.
It might be the Texans
with Kyle Allen. Look, I don't know how bad Russ is. Well, I do know how bad Russ is. I've seen how bad Russ is. Russ just makes you frustrated because you have a terrible offense with Russ. No, this is different, dog.
No.
When somebody said
the Broncos right now have the lowest scoring average in the league. I'm almost positive that it's
but the
I'm just gonna tell you, Ace. Look, Ace. Here's what I'm gonna say. From what I saw on Sunday, I don't think it's outrageous that Georgia could keep a 3-point game against the Texans. Now, I really don't. I'm being dead serious.
No.
If they played Georgia with the same enthusiasm that they played the Browns with, they might get beat, dog. Like Georgia executes at a higher level. With more confidence than the Texans do right now. Like
no. I agree with you. If we're talking overall team, sure. I think the Broncos defense is so good and the offense is so bad. Like if the Broncos defense was trash, I think that they would definitely get a Texans like a run for their money with worst team in the league.
Yeah, I'm
pretty sure they're last in the league in scoring.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the numbers really articulate how awful that offense is when you watch it. Like the Texans, like it is. Like I think the numbers pretty accurately depict how bad the Broncos are. But remember, they're in close games, so it's not like they get garbage time opportunities because their defense is so good. So that's probably why their scoring average is low. Yeah. The Texans ain't in no close games. Like so, yeah, they get the extra garbage time touchdown. But dog, let me tell you. I was watching this game and I was like, dog, I can't. It was like the preseason. I was having preseason reactions where like I'm getting a pick 6 in the regular season. I'm like, yeah, it means nothing. Like I can't even get excited about it.
I'm not gonna lie, rewatching that Ravens Broncos game, even the condensed version was torture.
Was pretty.
Who lost to the damn Texans? The Jaguars. Are you kidding me?
They tied with the Colts. That's what
they tied with the Colts. First game of the year.
It's a division game, baby. Bengals sign wide receiver Tyron Johnson. This can be big.
Yep. Speed guy. I think that was about a week ago or something like that. He's on practice squad though. I don't think he's
not gonna lie. I thought the Browns Special team was non-existing up until this game. LOL, I was actually impressed. I was
their coach is the only one on that staff with a playoff win. So
he's secure.
Let's not forget.
Well, he's not going to be the only one on the staff with a playoff win for long.
Q.
It'll be at least another year.
No. Nuh-uh. No. The year he's had, another year for Mike. He's been here 1 year longer than everybody else. People forget. He got hired before
single-handedly won a game for the team this year.
Huh?
Single-handedly, he won the game for the Texans this week. He's got a W.
There were two picks. There was a fumble 6 and a pick 6 in this game.
Yeah, but that was not the turning point. We all agreed.
That was not the turning point. The turning point was that the Houston Texans are the Houston Texans. That's what turned the game around. Okay, the Browns play that game against anybody else. They definitely don't win that game. Like against literally any other football team that's ranked in college football right now and in the NFL. The Browns probably don't win that game, but
I gotta say something real quick. We have 700 people watching and only 275 likes, so we're gonna need to get that number up. If you like the video, if you're watching,
like the stream.
Let's go. Need some likes. Let's go.
Okay, Q, can you talk about how teams need to have the money up front for the contract and the Ravens owner might be cash poor and can't sign him?
I don't anticipate him being cash poor because he's not of the class of owner that would have that issue, right? When you talk about owners who are cash poor, those are the ones that you kind of know because they've been owners. Their family has owned the team for a while.
Raiders.
But Bishotti, this is Bishotti for y'all, right? Yeah. He shouldn't be cash poor, or
he has a B. He's
frugal. I mean, these billionaires are frugal.
A billionaire?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, he has a billionaire valuation before he bought the Ravens, so he probably is not cash poor. It's just about it's a question of how much resources you want to put in. What makes the Browns unique is that Jimmy Haslam literally he's like Jerry Jones, where all his money he made a bunch of money outside of football, and now he ain't got nothing to do other than football. So all his money is wrapped up in the football because he can no longer own Pilot Flying J, and you know how that oil money is. He has a ton of cash. Right, so he's willing to put almost a quarter bill in the bank in escrow to give it to Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. People who are other owners don't see it that way. They see it as something in their portfolio that they want to obviously have grow in value, and they don't feel like it's sound. And I think Steve Bishotti is of the ones that don't feel like it's sound to put that much in escrow for one player.
Well, I think it's the guarantee, by the way, because
that's what we're talking about. The guaranteed. You have to put all the guaranteed monies in escrow.
No. Okay, no. Let me rephrase that. It's the fully guarantee. Apparently, they had a contract with Ravens that gave Lamar more guarantee than what Watson had. But what they did, the Ravens did, they added an extra year, so it was a 6-year deal, and it wasn't fully guaranteed, and that was the rub. And so apparently Bishotti does not believe in fully guaranteed contracts, and that is the rub. By the way, so Bishotti is $6.5 billion net worth, Tony.
That's what I thought. I thought he was very rich.
Yeah.
He's a very rich man.
If you want to know how much oil money will get you, look at Saudi Arabia over there, and Ronaldo just signed
Ronaldo's contract
for $180 million per year.
Boy, if I ever have a kid, he gonna learn that foot basketball. Let me tell you something, boy. We missing out. We think Bron make money. No, 180 per.
And he's 40 years old.
Dog. That's what they make when that's the equivalent. Is that the equivalent of like when Shaq goes out there and play in China for like a couple exhibition games or something like that? Yes. That's crazy. He making that on that. Boy, let me tell you.
It was insane. I saw that. I thought it was a bot or a fake account. Top 3 MVP candidate. Yeah, I'm assuming he's talking about.
Like, how does taxes even work in that? I don't even want to know. Yeah. That's problems I'm never gonna have to figure out. No. Ain't nobody paying me $180 million for a single damn thing in my life.
Per year, man. Per year. It's not a 1-year deal either. Q. It's multiple years.
Ooh. Well, I mean. That's crazy.
So Abdul here says Sonny has been in the top left corner all season. Just saying. Until then, shit.
Just go back and watch. Hey, go back and watch last year's videos. Just scroll through last year's videos and just.
I'm just saying. He was in the basement for like a smooth 4 weeks at the beginning of the season. Like,
just go back to last season, watch around this time, and then see where he starts. See where he starts.
See where he started. And
it was okay. Well, let's talk about the Ravens because last year, same time, 8-4, Lamar gets hurt, and we know Lamar actually got hurt on, I guess this week. It will be upcoming this week, right? Because he got hurt and then. He lost.
Yeah, they lost to the Steelers first. Let's not forget that one. They lost to the Steelers first. Then he gets hurt.
Okay, so
this year it's going to be reversed, but that's fine.
This game was interesting. The defense played great. The defense played really, really good. They gave up 6 points that they drive. The Broncos drive, and then Hundley throws a terrible interception, and then the Broncos were in field goal range and got 9. And to be honest, when it was 9-3, I was like, shit, this might be over. This might be over because we were actually moving the ball quasi decent for being against the Broncos. The Broncos defense is fast, by the way. They play extremely fast. I think they might have been the fastest defense that we have faced at least all year. And then we do the double reversal. By the way, before I keep going, what is your take on that play?
I'm be honest with you.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see this game because I had a choice. And I chose England Senegal over this game, to be honest with you.
Come on, that was not even a game. Okay. Hey, do you watch this? Did you watch that double reversal?
The condensed version of the game.
Did they show the double reversal? That was one of the picks.
I believe so. I think so.
Okay.
There wasn't a penalty on the play, right?
No, there was no penalty. See, the problem that I have,
they ran a double reverse interception.
I did see the two interceptions.
I think it was a triple reversal.
While we watch this,
because Justin Simmons picked off. You're talking about one of the picks Justin Simmons had.
Yeah,
I did. I saw like him pick it off.
It was in the end zone. Okay, yeah. The problem that I have is
the one when he was on the right side.
Yeah. Okay. Well, both of them were on the right side. One was in the end zone. That was in the end zone.
Yeah, I remember the one in the end zone. Yeah.
Okay, so the problem that I have is
Prochet threw it. I remember.
Yeah, Prochet threw it. Exactly.
Good old Prochet.
Exactly. Prochet threw it. And the problem that I had was people were killing Giro for this. And I,
outside the stadium they were.
Giro might be going to Stanford, dog. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, okay. So we can talk about that in Patreon, but as I was looking into this, I was like, these are the type of plays that if it works, like if a Ravens fan looks at this play and any other random team runs it and it works, you will hear Ravens fans saying like, why can we never run this play, right? Now, Harbaugh today said like, we shouldn't call that play. That play was too finesse. This game was rugged and all that. But the problem was the Broncos read the play well. The idea was, you're creating so much chaos underneath that all the Broncos players will go down because we have been running the ball well, right? So you push the reversal from Hundley to, I forgot who, to Duvernay and Duvernay to Prochet. So you're hoping all these players get sucked in, but no. The linebackers actually push back and the safety goes back too. And you have one route to the running back, right? Yeah. And that's fine because this is essentially a play is either wide open or you don't attempt to throw. That's it. There's two scenarios: either wide open or you just either run it or you just throw it away.
Read.
Right? There's no second read because he's not a quarterback, right? You either see the guy wide open, like wide open, nobody even close, or you don't know it.
You just can't put.
But there was four Broncos there, 4. And he threw it. So it was an easy pick. And it's an easy pick. Play call itself, I don't even necessarily have a problem with that play call. The execution was poorly. And the Broncos did a hell of a job sniffing the play. The offense looked stagnant. And the first 2 drives was when Lamar was there. They blitz a lot. And Lamar, for some reason, was always looking the deep route. But he had no time for the deep route because they were blitzing, and he got hit. Look, Lamar's always gotten his injuries. People talk about Lamar getting hurt because he runs so much. His injuries are always been in the pocket, right? Yeah. So he got sacked. He got sacked twice hard, both hard hits. And then when Hundley came, what they did was like, okay, we're gonna throw short. We're gonna throw short. We're gonna throw even on third down. And then I saw some Ravens fan killing Giro because it was a 3rd and 7 or 8, I don't know, and maybe it was a 3rd and 12, and we run 2 like shorter routes, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I understand as a fan being frustrated by that, but if you're expecting the blitz, you don't have time for a deeper route, and you're hoping that your receiver gets one-on-one matchup against whoever the corner or linebacker and make a miss, right? On a blitz, you can do that. It was a frustrating game. Receivers play better than they have played, right? There was not that many drops. But, I mean, the offense was it was hard to watch. And I love defensive game, by the way. I love defensive game, and the defense overall played good. The first drive, they forgot that the game started. And they got a 3. And after that, and at the end, it got uncomfortably, right? Because it was a 63-yard attempt, and it looked straight. And I'm here. I told my wife, I can't watch. I'm about to throw up. I can't watch this shit. And
how great would it have been though after Tucker shanked one last week if this guy would have made one?
I mean, if it was 63, Tucker would have made that. Tucker would have made that 63.
Didn't make it last week. Short. He ain't got a leg anymore. He's getting old now. He ain't got a leg. He ain't got a leg like he used to.
Okay,
old man leg.
Saying that,
yeah, he's trash now. Can't make game winners anymore.
I mean, like, hey,
how long has it been since Justin Tucker made
a super chat that you missed from Josh Mattar?
Did I miss or that I haven't?
It was right before the Abdul.
Oh no, I said it. We talk about 3 MVP candidates, and I said top 3. I said I'm assuming Burrow. He's talking about Burrow, and I said yes.
He wants your top
Mahomes,
3
Kenny. I think those are your top 3 right now.
I think it's Mahomes, Burrow,
Kenny. Yeah, I mean those 3. That's my
same
3. That's my. I mean, I was just gonna say that's my same 3. I think
Tua just fell out of it, bro.
Tua had a tough week. Tua had a tough week.
But it's just one game, right? He can definitely bounce back. I would say,
even though I would probably
let me tell you
Allen
something.
Can get right back in.
Allen is right there.
Allen can get back in too.
They want to give it to Allen. I don't know who's gonna win the MVP this year. To be honest with y'all,
it's gonna be crazy if they give it to Jalen Hurts, dog.
I mean, like, who else is the argument?
Why not Jalen? Yeah, I agree.
Well, the funny thing is,
why not Micah Parsons? Hold on, why not Micah Parsons?
Why not?
Why did you do last week?
Tyreek Hill. But the funny thing though is like people act like Tua is what Jalen Hurts is, which is like throwing a lot of screens. You know what I mean? But I don't know. This is one of them years where we're gonna have a weird MVP. This is how a dude like Matt Ryan wins the MVP. You know what I mean? Like this is the type of year.
Okay, so before let me say, because I saw Tony's name now.
How did that happen? See, I'm telling you, StreamYard's weird, man. They keep some weird.
I think look, the defense actually played good. If I tell you lose your top quarterback, right, against a top defensive team, on the turnover margin, you're -2, and you had your 3rd string left tackle to add early in the game because Stanley didn't play, the backup left tackle left, and other players came and go, but they finished the game. As soon as you lose your top quarterback, and if you add to the fact that it was against the top defensive team or top 3 defensive team in the league, that usually is trouble. And then you're -2 in turnovers. 9 out of 10, you lose that game.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you see the post-game win expectancy?
No.
95% for the Broncos. 95%. Teams who get, like you said, who win the turnover battle like that, who have a better per play, 3rd down, yada yada yada, win 95% of those.
I told you that Broncos offense is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's something special.
Yeah, so I think, I think it was resilient that they won the game because Lamar wasn't like he left late, he left early. Pulling the game was impressive. It was basically one drive. It was the last drive.
You guys came back.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it was hard. It was hard. I lost years of my life watching this game. But
yeah,
anyway,
so like
Rose country.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'll tell you what. I'll speak for the rest of us. I'll speak for the rest of us here. When we saw the thing that said Lamar Jackson injures knee, I mean, division back on for all of. I think for all of us, we're thinking the exact same thing because this is before the Bengals played the Chiefs.
Winning the division for the Steelers.
Well, we want to know about a nothing burger. We're gonna talk about it in a second. But Jamar Chase's injury was such a nothing burger, dog. Like
it
really
was.
It was absolutely. We made such a big deal, and it ended up being nothing.
They lost to the Browns. That's.
I mean, they probably would drop in that game. Like that was a 33-point loss.
Wow, I like this. Let's get spicy on Friday. Remember Friday's episode, AFC North, AFC North Talkapalooza.
They were saying it. Bengal fans were saying Jamar Chase wasn't going to change that game.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying this by myself.
It's Tony adding spices.
I know. Okay. Look at Tony being an instigator. Yeah, okay.
I would never do that. Not on this show?
Oh, his name changed again. Oh.
What is that? Oh, that's just true. I mean, I don't know how that got there, but that is actually true. I don't know if you guys know that Lamar Jackson has only ever beaten backup quarterbacks for the Steelers.
It's gonna get spicy this week.
That's kind of a weird stat.
So if we beat Kenny, if Lamar would have played,
you the hot chip challenge. Yeah, you should do the hot chip challenge. Yeah, I agree.
No, you would say that we beat a backup because Kenny was a backup too.
No, Kenny's the start. No. See, this is the second time a Ravens fan has done this like straw man argument of like, well, they're just gonna say, you should be Kenny. No. The Steelers are favorites this week. We are 1.5 point favorites.
Yeah, that's why Sonny doesn't want to put that out there.
Not ready. I'm feeling confident again. I'm not ready to call this. I'm not ready to call this.
You want to talk about a $230 million argument for Lamar Jackson? The fact that he's not playing, y'all not favorite versus the Steelers at 8-4 versus a 5-7 team. Like that's the difference.
Is this in Pittsburgh or is this in Pittsburgh?
I almost went to the game. Too expensive.
-1.5. That means that the Ravens are really favored because you get -3 at home.
Tony, going to any game in that part of the country.
Not favorite.
Roquan Smith.
Going to any game in the Midwest at this time of the year is a bad thing to do.
I like going to cold weather Steeler games. It's always weird going to a warm weather Steeler game because it's just
no. You don't want to go to the hot one. You want to go like in October.
Yeah, like October. I've actually never been in October. I've only ever been
55-degree day. And in October, if you plan a trip for October, it's almost impossible for your season to be over. So you're going to be able to, I've stood in them stadium when it was like 2019 for the Browns. I had season tickets, and I was up there in December, and we was like 5-12. You know what I mean? Like, that was terrible. Freeze it. Talk about we might get to 8-8. If we win this one, we can win out and go to 8-8. That was
So Tony, what is your take on the Ravens then? Of this game? Oh, you didn't watch it. That's right.
I mean, listen, I had Red Zone on one, and they showed a lot of the for whatever reason, Red Zone showed a lot of the Browns-Texans game. I had the England-Senegal game on the other.
Was there something notable going on in that game?
You guys were losing the Texans for an uncomfortable amount of time.
When Lamar went out, I did think because it was a knee injury, I'm like, that's not good. The knee sprain. I expected, I'm not going to lie, for a second, I was like, well, maybe they might drop this game because, like you said, it was early in the game. Then the defense stepped up. They pretty much limited Russell Wilson in that offense to only field goals the entire game. Even at the end, Russell Wilson tried to make a little bit of a run there. The kicker ends up missing the field goal. But I thought when Huntley got in, I thought that he'd play a little bit better. The two Justin Simmons interceptions did kind of throw me off a little bit. The run game was pretty much non-existent in that one. Denver was shutting them down. And I thought that Denver had a really good defense, which would give them a chance. But I said before going into this one, I don't trust Denver. I trusted Denver last year or whenever they played the Ravens last time, and I picked Denver. So I picked Baltimore this time. I think Baltimore rallied at the end. But you got to start thinking about Lamar Jackson. I think I mentioned this in Spaces. I'm like, going into this situation, it's risky, right? Because you don't want to end up in a situation like Baker Mayfield where you play through an injury and it ruins kind of your future value. And so that could be a reason that he sits out these last couple of games. That's where I'm kind of thinking, is Lamar going to put this team in the season first, or is he going to put Lamar Jackson first? Is what I was thinking after this game. But Baltimore went out and took care of business. But this all is going to hover, I think, on when Lamar is going to come back. If it is 2 weeks, can this team hold on and beat these other teams? They do have some easy opponents to take on, some easier opponents. I'm not going to say that the Steelers are too easy. Oh, they have to play the Browns. Oh, hold on, bro. Nah, they don't have easy opponents to take on. They don't. It seemed easy 3 weeks ago. It's not easy now. You got Deshaun there. You got Kenny.
You got Kenny 2 gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that line has moved.
It's a gauntlet.
Chat. Thank you, chat. It's Steelers by 3 now.
So.
I had to catch myself. It is a gauntlet. Bro. So
division gauntlet. Did this happen to them last year? This is what I'm saying. Lamar got hurt at the end of the Cleveland game, right? And then literally he played the Steelers and the Browns. Well, they played the Steelers and the Browns the next 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
This is not
the
looking
simulation
good,
is cracked.
This is not looking good.
I like it.
How is it this similar? This makes no sense.
I don't know.
We all had given up on a certain quarterback in Pittsburgh. Thought, oh no, that guy's no good. Then no. It's like Jaws, dude. It's like Jaws.
Hugh, what is your thoughts on this game?
I don't know. I was kind of focusing, like, every time I was watching, I was kind of wanting the Broncos to win. And, like, I was like, man, Russ is just, come on, dog. Like, come on. Like, it was like watching like a old pet and you just want to kick it so it does something. And it's just like, dog, come on, move, do something. He's just
like that little meme with the stick. Do something.
Yeah,
do something.
Is he cooked?
He's cooked.
Yeah. He's cooked.
Like, I don't know. I feel like next year he can be better, but like the real question is, like, are we just gonna think that he isn't cooked next year just because he's better than he was this year, but he's not necessarily playing at the same level that we expect Russ to play at? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think you can win a championship with him. Like, most certainly, no. I don't think even if he gets better, more familiar, there's no version of that you can win the champion. He's past this. He's past it. He is well past it. Thought Huntley would look better too, but he came in cold. So, and this is a really, really, really good defense that they're playing up against. Made the plays that matter. I mean, like 30 seconds left in the game, you get the game winning touchdown. It can't really
converted 3 4th downs as well. I forgot to mention that.
He comes in clutch. Like, in those moments, it's just usually the other team's good enough to like score back, and that's kind of just what happens to Tyler Huntley. He's had those moments where he got a big clutch touchdown sub 2 minutes in the game. It's just he had horrible luck last year with other teams coming back on him. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think any of the teams are skilled enough to do that to him again. But yeah, I mean, again, I hate to say it, but like, it's nothing that really moves the needle because, again, like, holding the Broncos to 9 points is impressive. If they weren't the Denver Broncos, they ain't been doing this all year, right? And that's the only thing. Like, the thing with the Ravens is ultimately going to determine whether they could be a Super Bowl contender is when if Lamar Jackson comes back. We don't know, right? That's not going to be determined this week. He sounds like he's coming back, and it makes sense he would. This team seems pretty all in on this year. I don't think he would sit out unless like he felt like it was truly going to affect his play. And at that point, he shouldn't play, right? If he feels like he can't be the same player. But with the Ravens bet on their ceiling being this defense being great, it's hard for me to see if this defense is just really good or if this defense is like, watch out. They could carry, they could be good enough to carry what is a average offense, an inconsistent offense to the Super Bowl. That's the big thing with the Ravens. And it's hard to figure it out, especially after last week where they blow that game late to the Jaguars. So I just don't know where to sit at with the Ravens, right? Because I came in on the season high on them, but the offense just hasn't looked right all year.
Yeah, the offense is, I don't disagree. Okay, so we had, is that the only?
But yeah, G-Ro might be out of there, man.
Did you guys see the fans outside the stadium?
Yeah, that happens every week.
No, what happened?
I mean, they're like lined up where the coaches exit.
Yeah.
And they're screaming, "We get out, you bum! We're done with you. Get out! You're ruining the team."
Yeah. He's going. If he gets that Stanford offer, he's out of there.
Yikes!
Oh yeah.
Yikes.
Well, he also has been wanting to be a head coach.
Stanford offered for what? Like he's going to be the head coach of Stanford?
Yeah.
Greg Roman.
That's the rumor.
Where he go find a
Deion's gonna win the Pac-12 in like 2 years. Soon as USC and UCLA are out, he's winning the Pac-12.
Yeah, but do it matter if you win the Pac-12 after USC and UCLA leave?
I still have Oregon.
Washington.
Yeah, Oregon? No, Oregon ain't holding down nothing. Oregon has been the king of the Pac-12 for how long? And how long have we not cared about the Pac-12? About as long as Oregon's been on top of it, right? We only care about the Pac-12 when USC is at the top of the Pac-12. If anybody else wins the Pac-12, don't nobody care.
Fair point. Cool here says Lamar.
Sorry, Oregon fans in chat.
Lamar's 2-0 versus Deshaun. Steelers are undefeated against Deshaun as well.
Bengals win the
Bengals pulled a whole like, oh yeah, our record versus Jacoby Brissett is much better than it is against Baker Mayfield. I was like, what? This is a whole different team, dog.
Well, the Browns are worse with Deshaun.
Myles Garrett does not travel with Jacoby Brissett or Deshaun Watson. Like, that's the problem.
Marquee matchup, because let's be honest. We predicted that's not true because Q and Ace predicted the Steelers to lose. But for the most part, we predicted, that all 3 games were going to be comfortable, and then the big game was Bengals and Kansas City. The Bengals went and took care of business against the Chiefs. It was interesting. It was a good game to watch, by the way. It was a good game to watch. I feel like if you love football, if you had no rooting interest, you can just sit back and enjoy. Obviously, I was hating and watching.
But we all had rooting interest.
Yeah,
we all had rooting interest.
I was pulling Mahomes.
Hey, look, man, y'all don't believe in the power of Logan Wilson. And once I saw him suit up, I did not have any delusions of grandeur that the Bengals were not going to win this game.
But to be
fair, I say plus 10? That's a plus 10 or 3 if Logan Wilson played.
You said plus 10 either way, basically.
It ended up being like plus 4 or something like that. Plus 3.
Plus 3. Yeah.
Same score as last time.
Yeah, very similar.
Exact same score.
This is the same season, dog. They repackaged the same season. Are we gonna let this is like when Madden comes out, like, this is the same game. This is the same season, dog. They just put a new roster on it. That's crazy that they're doing.
Does that mean the Seahawks win the Super Bowl?
What, from last year?
No, I'm saying, does that mean the Seahawks end up because it's an NFC West team that wins the Super Bowl?
I don't know, man. Like, this is the same game.
The Niners.
The Niners with Baker.
Win the AFC right now.
Oh my God.
Baker.
With Baker.
Can you imagine?
Nah, it's broken. The game's broken, dog. The game is broken. Don't you get mad when you get all the way to the Super Bowl of your franchise league and it's a team that you know damn well ain't gonna be in no Super Bowl and it breaks the immersion for you, like completely breaks it? It's like the San Francisco 49ers get in there and Colin Kaepernick's the quarterback for them. Like, how did this happen in the simulation, dog? Like, it used to happen all the time, like in Madden 18.
I was gonna say, but the game was fought through and through. I would say this. I don't know if you, Tony, specifically thought about me because I hated when they went for 4th down, the Bengals, and on the red zone.
Oh yeah, I love
the game. And then
you hated it.
I
you hate all at this point
because then the Chiefs did the same shit, and the next drive they go for it on 4th down in their goal line, and they didn't make it either. And I was like, what is happening? Take the points. Take the points.
Oh my God, Stetson Bennett's 25.
The analytics has gone too crazy for me. But anyway, Ace, I'm gonna start with you because I know you have a laundry list of stuff you want to say. I will say this because you also put there the Chris Jones play.
I don't know. Did he?
Was he in this game? The one thing I did see for Chris Jones, he looked tired. He looked uninterested in this game. He was like,
he got up for it though. I think I was watching something 2 weeks ago, and he was like, "Yeah, that play on Joe Burrow, that's in my head." And I was like, "Oh, he's already looking forward to the Bengals game." But I was expecting this to be, a Chris Jones thing. I also heard Pat Mahomes. We got this marked on the schedule. We coming back to get our revenge. We're gonna run this time, all this and that. To me, it comes down to simply this: when you have a team like the Cincinnati Bengals and you had a Kansas City Chiefs, you got to have somebody that can go toe-to-toe with Pat Mahomes. That's number one. Like, we knew that so many years ago. That's really why we ended up getting Joe Burrow and pulling the plug on the Andy Dalton experiment. This team beat us by like 50 points 3 or 4 years ago with Andy Dalton. We realized then that this is a team that you have to have that firepower to contend with. Going into this game, I kept saying it. 3 rookie corners on the Migos. The Migos, they didn't have like an explosive game, but anytime we needed that pass to happen, they were just able to dial it up. Joe Burrow in this game, I think, was insane. Some of the throws that I saw in this game were so on point, it was crazy. I had to go look up the next gen stats. Do you know that this guy was expected to only complete 67% of his passes? His completion percentage was 80%. Like Joe, and there were 2 of them. One of them was a drop touchdown that Tyler Boyd should have had on a pick play, and the other one was another one that someone should have caught as well. So this guy was essentially red hot the whole game. There wasn't a point in this game, and I also mentioned that too. In the last 2 games, the Bengals never were able to get up in the game. They never had a lead on the Chiefs. What did they do in this? I have to give credit to Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. The first drive that they had, the play calls, all of that, the whole script was amazing. They come right down and score. The Bengals defense, a lot of people in the Bengals community might tell you the Bengals didn't play their best game in this one. There were missed opportunities. You talk about the Tyler Boyd drop. A lot of Bengals fans felt like they left about 11 points out there. I kind of don't tend to go with that because I'm a realist. Like every team could look at every game and say, oh, we should have scored here. We should have had this and that. I think they stood tall when it really mattered. The interesting thing was the Chiefs did stick with the run in this one, which I expected them to. I thought that they actually did pretty well in it, but the Bengals were kind of waiting for them to pass. That's essentially what we were waiting for this whole game. And when that did come to pass, it seemed like the Bengals had the advantage there. It seemed like Pat Mahomes would make something happen on every now and then, but I never felt like the Bengals couldn't win this game. And then you just talk about Samaje Perine, dog. 5 yards per carry in this game. Joe is killing that cover 2 shell look. It doesn't matter if you want to play cover 2 or not. He's going to hit the check down. He's going to find the open guy. There was a clip going around where I think they played cover 3. They played the perfect defense, and Joe Burrow still made the pass to convert for the first down. Samaje Perine, though, the way that he ran in this game, he was able to close this one out. He's running super hard. He's a guy that's another 1-2 punch. And then my guy Chris Evans finally comes out of nowhere. They come in with the Chris Evans play. He hits them out of nowhere. They're not expecting it. And this team just showed you, even Trenton Irwin had another good catch. They just have so many guys that they can go to. And this was a game where I really wanted Hayden Hurst to get his chance. He gets a catch early in the game. Unfortunately, he goes out of the game. A lot of people wanted, because Reed was running his mouth a little this week, a lot of people wanted to see Hayden Hurst catch a touchdown on Reed. He goes out. Samaje Perine makes up for it, though. He literally bounces his man's head off of the ground like it's a basketball. And I'm like, yeah, welcome to AFC North football, because we don't play finesse in this division whatsoever. And then you saw the defensive line. One of the things that I always thought the Bengals would have an advantage over was Andrew Wiley. I believe it's the right tackle for the Chiefs. Everybody else on the Chiefs line is good, which unfortunately they did lose Tooney for this game. He didn't end up playing. He was a late scratch. But I always felt like Wiley, like Sam Hubbard could get a sack against him. He gets one. Joseph Osai finally comes up in a major way on that third down against Pat Mahomes, makes that play there. For some reason, Eli Apple wasn't even targeted. And I always say that, like, the Bengals play a lot of zone. There's going to be some man cover 2 looks, but mostly we play zone. So if you think that you're going to get a one-on-one opportunity with Eli Apple, that's really not going to happen. And then they also did the thing where they put Trey Flowers over Travis Kelce. That was the biggest part. They shut Travis Kelce out of the entire first half, dog. I don't know if Travis Kelce even played in the first half, because he was 0-2 on 2 targets for 0 yards. And then in the second half, he had 57 yards. I mean, I said this going into it. Slow down Travis Kelce. Like, yeah, they have all of these other guys, but the main guy that you have to slow down to beat that team, Travis Kelce. They did a great job against Kelce. I mean, overall, they came out here, won the game, won it at home. I heard from a lot of Bengals fans that were there at the game. They were doing some crazy stuff in the stadium. Apparently, they put a baby version of Pat Mahomes up on the screen And apparently Bengals fans had to cheer or get loud for that baby to scream or get louder or something like that. They did some very creative thing.
Damn.
That's pretty crazy though. That's pretty shiesty. No pun intended.
Cincinnati, they would do something.
But Joe Burrow, I knew when we had the ball at the end, he was gonna have a chance. Hit him with the dagger in the heart. That's why we call him shiesty, because he's gonna rip your heart out there at the end. Those are laser to T. Higgins on 3rd and 11. I mean, the way that this team is playing right now, I don't know like the path that they're on right now. They seem better than the team from last year, if I'm being honest. They seem better than that team from last year. They're really getting it together. They're really stringing some W's here together. But they've got to go ahead and finish the season out strong. You got Cleveland coming up. You got the Bills coming up. You got the Ravens coming up. So they've got to take care of business. But at home, they've been a different team. And I talked about that a lot. They've been a different team at home. Hopefully they can continue that challenge. But, yes, they did beat the Chiefs. It isn't a fluke, 3 in a row. But I want to make it 4 in a row when it really counts. So, yeah, I'll take my victory lap now, but it's not over. We will see that team back in the playoffs again.
I just want to give everybody an update. I just peed, and yeah.
And burn a little.
Apparently, that can happen.
Apparently.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Yikes. Don't do the challenge, dog.
Yikes.
Don't do it.
Are you in then? Are you in then? Is that all you? That's all confirmation you needed?
No. Okay, I actually
like icy hot down there, boy.
I actually have to go, but I do want to say this. I think the Bengals has shown not only they're for real, we know that part, but that they might be the better team in the AFC. I personally have no faith in Buffalo. I have had no faith in Buffalo. The Chiefs, for me, have been a team that we said that they haven't played really anybody, right? And we all here picked the Bengals. I believe everybody picked the Bengals.
No, there's one guy.
Come on, dog. You think I picked the Bengals? You think I picked the Bengals? By the way,
Bengals.
I do want to say, because I'm not upset about this game, but because look, people think like, oh, Tony, you picked the Chiefs. You must be upset because now the Bengals are for real. They beat them 3 times in a row. Look, the reason why I picked the Chiefs to win this game is not because I thought the Chiefs are a better team, all that stuff. It was because I had a very strong opinion that you cannot beat Mahomes 3 times in a row. Now that's happened, but what you don't know, why I'm happy this happened, is that I have an even stronger opinion. Okay, that you definitely can't beat Mahomes 4 times in a row. So that's fine. They got it in the regular season. Get it out of your system because you're not beating Patrick.
Well, Tony, the last thing I will say is I do think it's a simulation, and the simulation is kind of broken. I actually think the Bengals will finish first overall.
That is the most fan thing ever.
Anyway, I had to know, guys.
All right,
I'm pretty sure the Steelers have swept the Ravens or vice versa, and you'd be like, damn, we're going to play them in the playoffs, and we not going to beat them 3 times in a row.
Beating a team 3 times is hard. Beating a team 4 times, near impossible. Near impossible. It's
By the way, I just would like to address that the college football committee.
The Chiefs make it there. I don't know. No Tyreek.
Yeah,
the college football committee robbed the fans by not being corrupt enough. Like the one time we rely on your corruptness, you don't give us Christmas. You give us TCU, Michigan.
That's a crap game.
I mean, look, they couldn't give us TCU, Georgia. Somebody would have died in that game. Max Duggan.
I think it's BS that they didn't give TCU to Georgia because TCU is clearly the worst of the 4 teams. So
yeah, but
you're like giving Michigan a pass.
Tony, health and safety is a concern. Okay.
Well, Michigan's still going to bully the crap out of TCU too. So, Michigan can actually get upset because they have those weird first halves, and TCU I suppose could get up on. But anyway, all right, let's talk about this game.
Michigan don't got anybody that's like 6'8", 350 pounds. Like,
Darnell Washington is a yeah.
He hoisted a grown man with one arm.
All right, Bengals win this game. I do think the Bengals definitely do have the Chiefs number. I mean, this is a has their number type of situation because the thing about this game that was different than the last couple of games, I talk a lot about game script and game flow. I'll disagree with you, Ace. The Chiefs definitely left points on the field. They should have won this game by more. It always felt like at every point of this game, to do like a swimming analogy, it felt like the Bengals were doing whatever they wanted. They were just having fun in the pool, and the Chiefs were out there just trying to keep their head above water. You know what I mean? Just don't move. I mean, every drive it felt like, boy, it's so hard for the Chiefs. It just feels like it's really hard for the Chiefs at every moment. It's a little here, a little there. Whereas with the Bengals, I mean, it was, they were run when they wanted 6 yards through the ground, bang, we got, P. Ryan's going. And then through the air, I mean, Burrow could basically do no wrong. Even on the plays where he did, right? They called the PI on the one that he threw the pick on. And then like that, there was 2 penalties back to back on 2 negative plays that they could have had. I thought the roughing call was the PI call I could see. The roughing call, I don't like that. The landing on the quarterback stuff. I'm a Steeler fan. Listen, I'm like, just put the flags on the guy at some point. But otherwise, no, I mean, like the Bengals have the Chiefs number. There's no doubt. It's no doubt because at no point in this game did I feel like the Chiefs were going to win, even when the Chiefs had the ball and were driving. My thought was, boy, they better score a touchdown here if they want to even have a chance, because it felt like Burrow gets the ball back. He's scoring a touchdown. There's no doubt. And there was no doubt in my mind they were going to score a touchdown. So they needed to have that 2-score cushion at that point in the game. So when the fumble happened, that was game over. I mean, to me, that was when the game ended. I know that there was a chance there at the end, 3rd and 11. But Burrow made an unbelievable throw. The clips are on Twitter, all the different all 22 angles of that throw.
Oh my God, that was so tight. Was that T? That was Higgins,
to
right?
T. Yeah, it was to T.
Yeah.
Well,
he's about to get that
incredible.
Is he a free agent this year?
No, one more year. One more year.
You're lucky.
One more year.
Lucky.
We're not lucky.
We're this year. I mean, we talked about that money we thought Allen Robinson was going to get. He about to get the bag. Woo!
What did you think, Hugh? What was your take on the game?
Yeah, T. Higgins good as shit. Oh, like you know what I mean? Like I might join the T. Higgins is better than Jamar Chase fan club pretty soon here. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's a slight to either one of them. Like, you know what I mean? They're just both really good. They're good in different ways, right? Jamar can stretch you and just get those big chunk plays, but like T. Higgins is like, what if Keenan Allen existed but wasn't like 4.7 speed, was like a regular speed wide receiver, because he's so consistent, he's so short-handed, he's so physical at the point of attack. And like when you need one, when you just need a guy to win a route, get physical and get whatever separation he can get to get a first down, he's unstoppable in that way, right? And then Tyler Boyd down there somewhere, right? Like, like you can't forget about him. He is a former like Pro Bowl.
Well, you
receiver.
can for one play. For one play, you can forget about
it. But it's not like they throwing it to Michael Thomas. You know what I mean? Right. Like,
and Boyd came back and made that 3rd down catch too later in the game.
True.
So, I mean, they look like how we expected the Bengals to look like at the beginning of the year. Like, this is the Bengals team that looks like they picked up from their run. And that was the question, right? Was the Bengals run and how they looked during that stretch more of a result of who they played and what went their way? Or is that just who they are? It's probably who they are, right? Like, it's probably at this point, we can't say it's good luck in the same exact way 2 times in a row, right? Like, that's lightning doesn't strike twice in the same spot. So that's probably just who they are. P. Ryan had a big game. I felt like he was nominated for one of the ground rush players of the week. So he continues to be good there. And when they have a ground game, they're very dangerous. Cincinnati Bengals are. Seems like the offensive line isn't giving them the same exact problems that they were early in the season. They look ready. They look like, okay, here come the Bengals. The question is, was the hole that they dug themselves early big enough to hinder their path to in the playoffs, right? Is that going to be something that hinders them? Are they going to be able to get the division? Or are they going to have to play in the wild card? But given that they play so well against the Chiefs, like, does it matter if they play in the wild card? Like, are we going to be talking about good luck because they played the Chiefs?
Well, the hard part about them in the wild card round, like, you could, if they end up with like the worst draw possible, which would be something like, Buffalo, Miami, Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could end up in like a worst case scenario of you don't get, because what you'd want is to win the division and end up with like the Jets or something in there. You get one game, because if you're going to end up playing some version of like Buffalo, Kansas City, assuming someone, or Miami, one of those 3, assuming none of them get upset, right? That's fair.
And I don't think the Chiefs nor Miami have looked good enough to where I'm like, hey, the 1 seed's kind of wrapped up in the AFC. So we'll see how things shake out there. It's going to be hard for the Bengals to get it just because, I mean, if the Bengals do play at a level to where they can get the 1 seed, they will get it because they have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs. They do play the Bills.
They got
obviously requiring, and to be able to get the 1 seed, it requires them to beat the Bills. But I don't think it's like a crazy thing to bring up. They
win out. They're 1 seed. They're one out. They win out their 1 seed.
Yeah, their fate is in there.
Unless Kansas City wins out. Yeah.
Kansas City could win.
Okay, because Kansas City can get one more win.
Yeah. Kansas City only has 3 losses right now.
Goodness gracious. The way that we view these teams on different scales for like sometimes like is like, oh, okay, this team only has 3 losses, but we're talking about them like the Bills. We're like, oh yeah, the Bills, they're not that good right now. But you know what I mean? Right. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the AFC shakes out. I think there's a lot of movement there. Now Ace brought up something important, right? When you lose to a team 3 times in a row, it becomes a thing, right? Because the first time, okay, you lost the game. Second time, okay, they caught us off guard. Third time, you were thinking about it though, like especially when there's been a year in between that, people been talking about it, and then you lose the game. I promise you, after the game, you're thinking, why can't we beat them, right? If it happens a 4th time, then it's a curse, right? That's when you get into Big Ben over Cleveland territory, where that ain't going nowhere, right? Like
territory too.
So it's going to be interesting to see if they play a 4th time, and this is also going to go for next week, this week's game too, because the Bengals are in the opposite position in this week's game. But if this gets to a 4th game, that's the one where if you're the Chiefs, you cannot lose, because you cannot afford to have a team like the Bengals be your Achilles heel in the playoffs, because ask Pittsburgh how that ends up for them, right? Like there's a whole era of Pittsburgh football where they should have probably been to the Super Bowl multiple times, but somebody got in their way. I don't want to say
it wasn't Brady though. Brady only beat us once in the playoffs.
Okay.
Hey, fellas, I got to head out as well. Got to get dinner together, but appreciate you guys. Who they?
Rock and roll.
Yeah, but that's going to be interesting to see if they can get this one out next week. Well, I mean, Ace not here. We can slander them.
One more week, and then I can flip it back.
No, we can slander them. Okay.
Oh, we can slander the Bengals now?
Trash. The Bengals is trash.
They're not trash. Here's what pisses me off.
They're really good.
They are they're good, but they've been good. They've been good for weeks. The problem is, and I actually said this on the show a couple weeks ago. You know, the regression happened in the first couple weeks. That's why they have 4 losses, right? I mean, there's no way they should have lost to Trubisky and Cooper Rush. I mean, this team could be a 2-loss team right now with an inside track to the 1 seed.
Be the 1 seed.
Yeah, right. They should be the 1 seed. If they didn't have that weird start to the year.
Do you think they're playing the best football in the AFC right now?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right now. But I mean, we got another month and a half left. They got to keep
it.
Yeah. I mean, you got Kansas City and Buffalo and them and Miami, I think are all. I'm not ready to go up on Miami. Although what happened against San Francisco was an interesting thing because they couldn't protect Tua. Tua got in his own head. The tight window throws that he had to make, he wasn't willing to make. I mean, that was a whole disaster of a game. But anyway.
And that's kind of one of them like teacher master situations.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because the Bengals have such a good defense, and that came through in this one. I mean, I did think the difference in this game was not necessarily Joe Burrow. The difference in this game was like Von Bell.
Defense is legit.
Yeah. Like, guys like that, like he's talking about Joseph Osai, right? That was the difference in the game. Their ability to make the play defensively. You know what it felt like? It felt like the Bengals were playing on their toes defensively, even though they weren't shutting down Mahomes, but they were playing on their toes. They were playing aggressive. It felt like
they were disciplined. You know what I mean? Like a lot of that Pat Mahomes, when he spins out the pocket stuff, a lot of guys chase heavy. Both Hendrickson and Hubbard did a good job of just staying parallel, right? Like not giving him, not really chasing and trying to get the sack so bad that they just kind of hold him up parallel and then drive him out at a bad angle out of bounds. It was like there are good defenses that are great because, like, oh my God, look at the talent, right? I think 2017 San Francisco is a great case for that. Then there are great defenses that are just well coached. And this kind of, like, it sounds weird. It reminds you of a Belichick defense where it's like, oh, they're just extremely disciplined and well coached, and they can get into different stuff without any communication issues. So they can just flex to anything. So they don't really need the greatest players because they're all going to be in position and be competent there. And competency kills on defense, right? You can have all that. Look at the Browns. Browns got more talent than the Bengals. They're a terrible defense because they're not competent. And they're not disciplined. So if you have those two things as a defense, you can be very good, and they have talent to go along with it. It's just they're definitely outperforming their current talent level. And it doesn't even matter because like that's the Chiefs that they played well against. You don't need to be better than that.
Yeah, right? And it's one of the things Tomlin preaches this a lot when it comes to defenses, which is the continuity, and those guys playing together. And this is like year 2 of them. And you can see that defense really like that defense. What they did at the end of last year was interesting, but I think they've built on that this year. It's not been the kind of ebb and flow that you see year to year from defense. I mean, they've kind of been consistent. All right, we got some super chats. Let's get to these. Mr. Mississippi. $2 super chat says Chris Jones is now beefing with Bengals fans.
Be careful.
On Twitter.
Be careful. Yikes. That is a big strong man though.
Yeah, that's true. You're gonna get clapped back like Lamar.
Yeah, the Bengals might be able to handle him, but you, dude, tweeting Chris Jones ain't got no answers.
Ja here, $5 super chat says since the start of 2021, Kansas City is 1-5 against Cincinnati and Buffalo. They're 22-4 against everyone else.
Rock, paper, scissors, man. Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors.
I mean, they did beat the Bills in the most important matchup they played since then, but I get the point. Is that the only one?
Yeah, the one is a pretty significant one.
Yeah, like that one win against Buffalo was like a pretty good one. And
I don't think they're all weighted the same.
No. I mean, I think that, this was clearly, I mean, this was like it's weird that it took this long into the year. But I guess it just is the way the schedule played out for Cincinnati, because this was the game that they, no one's doubting the Bengals anymore, even myself, right? My take on the regression thing would have been, okay, that weird beginning of the year where they lost the first couple games. More. Yeah, it could have it could have kept them out of the playoffs. I mean, there's a version of this. They lose that game, they're at 5 losses now. They lose to Buffalo, that's 6. If you drop a stupid one to New England or something like that, or Tampa. And then all of a sudden, any division loss, anymore, one more, and you're out. Like 7 losses, 8 losses, you're done. So, yeah.
But you know why I was happy to see them beat the Chiefs? Puts them in prime position to drop one to Cleveland, boy.
Yeah. Well, getting too high on your own supply.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Emotional victory. You're not even thinking about the Browns, and then wow. You know what I mean? And then you also looking at that rusty Deshaun Watson tape, so you might be a little bit over aggressive in some of your boxes and might get caught up on it. Who knows? But that's going to be a conversation.
If it does happen, I mean, if our two teams pull off the upsets, we'll talk more about this on Friday's show. But if we do pull off these wins on Sunday, this division's going to get real tight at the end. Real tight at the end.
Season for everybody.
Oh yeah, because Ace has touched on this. The Bengals in road games have been a far different team than they are at home, and they got road games at Tampa Bay, at New England. Now those aren't necessarily world beater teams, but certainly you think about a Belichick defense and some of the problems that the Bengals have had on offense this year. Same thing for that. I mean, I don't think they're going to lose to the Bucs, but
yeah, the Bucs can't score enough.
Yeah, can you imagine the Bengals losing a game like in the teens or 20s? I don't see it.
Not after the first 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So
Eric here says beginning of the year was new O-line and Burrow after serious surgery. This whole Burrow
serious surgery, dog.
Burrow's serious surgery is why he threw 5 interceptions against the Steelers. It's my favorite thing.
That's ridiculous. Come on now. It wasn't serious when we was talking about the game. It wasn't serious until he had a bad game, dog. That's when it got serious. Come on now. Serious. It was nothing. We were talking about it. Should we even bring it up? It's pointless, right? That's what y'all said when we brought up the little pancreas surgery. Whatever. It was
appendectomy, and I did say I actually was the one who said Q. We don't know what he's like. We haven't seen Joe Burrow throw a ball without his appendix.
Now they want to know. Now they want to act like, oh, okay, now it was serious. Look, man, appendix. It was like that with Baker Mayfield's labor, where it happened. It's like, oh yeah, guys play with that all the time. And then like 3 weeks later, when he started playing like garbage, it became it's one of the toughest injuries to ever play with. Even if it's not on your throwing arm. He's really battling out there. It's like okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that'll do it for us today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Q, for doing the hot chip challenge.
Oh boy,
that was
one time only.
I'll let you know this. As painful as it was for you, it was entertaining for us. So
I hope y'all got y'all money's worth.
All right, well, we will be back on Friday of this week with AFC North Talkapalooza, Browns versus Bengals, Steelers versus Ravens. Can't wait. Don't miss that one on Friday. Also, if you want to support us, we have a Patreon as well. We'll be doing a Patreon episode later this week as well, doing some of the games outside of the AFC North. But we'll talk to you on Friday right here on AFC North Talk. See you on Friday.